The countdown is over. Welcome one, welcome all. It's another Saturday. You know what I'm about to say. It's another Racing Post Live in association with Betfair. Another Group 1 weekend. Who enjoyed the Arc last Sunday? Wasn't that just a feel-good story we all needed going into this weekend? And of course, Champions Day to come next Saturday as well. We'll be talking about the bombardment that will be Baaeed next week, of course. Anything you fancy that, let us know. But a couple of massive races coming your way. The Dewhurst, is that the Pearl that we've got for you today? Or is it the Cesarewitch? What should we call this? Dewhurst Day, Cesarewitch Day? I don't know. We'll be going up to York as well, where the ground is a little bit testing. But we will be hoping to hit the target. One man hitting the target is sitting next to me. I'm about to introduce you to a fine panel. But before I do so, a reminder that this is live and interactive. If you're new to the show and you're clicking on and thinking, what is this? This is the greatest racing reaction show in the world. Welcome along. There you can see all the graphics on the screen. Like and subscribe, that's what it's all about. Then you can chat to us. If you're watching on Facebook Live, great numbers on Facebook last week, by the way. Lovely community there. Good to see. Anything on Twitter, hashtag RP Live. Let's get going then. Hoping to hit the target. It's the Archer. Got some arrows for us today, my friend?
I think so. Group 1 Saturday, but most importantly, one of the biggest betting races of the year. Looking forward to it.
Lovely to see you again, Dan. You've been all over the place since we last see you. You went to Croatia and everything, didn't you?
Yeah, Split, very good. Would recommend if you've never been.
Okay.
And then I went to Mallorca as well, so I'm fully refreshed.
Love it.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, good stuff. And you've got the man next to you, the anti-postman. Hot off a 33-1 selection of Alpinista last week. Who knew he had it in him? It's Robbie Wilders.
Who did? Yeah, you didn't expect that to happen, did you?
Well, we all tipped it, but obviously we get credited now for the SP.
Some of us got involved much earlier than others, though.
Yeah, well done, Rob. That was an absolute beauty. You're pressing the buttons again for Barry.
Yeah, I'm getting the hang of it now. Thankfully, our producer's written the selections down, so we're not going to struggle.
Okay, great. Well, all right. You've put yourself up for a fall already, so...
I think I can handle it, mate.
We're agreeing on a bit today, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
We are indeed. All right, let's go to Dublin then. The big hitter himself is back. Barry, how's your form?
Good, yeah. I'm fresh from reading Robbie's piece in the Racing Post this morning on the punting masterclass about handicapped and staying horses. So I'm looking forward to getting the winner of the Cesarewitch off him.
Stop it, Barry. You're too kind. You're too kind.
We're all playing nice then, Barry, to start off with. And look, I don't know whether you've got your magpies out there, as you call them, haven't you? Your lucky people. I don't know where Robbie sits on that. But shall we get this lucky 15 out of the way?
Robbie's all right. Archer's the magpie today.
It's begun already.
He's the maggot today. He tips every favourite.
Unbelievable.
Jolly.
I've only been back for 2 minutes and already he's after me.
I must admit, I did say, what did you put up in the Says, Dan? And he did that.
He put up the jolly.
No, I mean, I don't want to tease it out there for you, but he went, And we know when people make that noise, they're about to tip a shorty, don't we, Barry? But look, if you're new to the show, Barry tips in every single race. We play for charity along the way. It's the Injured Jockey's Fun in the merry month of September. We always do well. He always hits the target a couple of times. So stick with us. What is the multi today, Barry?
Yeah, so the each way lucky 15 today. We've 2 horses in Newmarket and 2 in York. The first in Newmarket is in the Zetland at 150. It's Batesman's Bay. I like that Nostrum form. Ties in well. The second in Newmarket is in the 340, Bascule. That's Hughes' horse in the Cesarewitch. Then 2 in York in the 240, Marching Army. That's the only 2 places in that race, but I can't see him beat out there. And Gisborne in the 315, the Richard Hannon horse, the 3-year-old. There's 6 places in the 315 from York and Gisborne's race, and there's also 6 places in the Cesarewitch on the Betfair Sportsbook. Also, the customers, don't forget, you bet 10 on multiples today, you get a free £10 bet on multiples. It's been massively, our punters have really, really enjoyed this. We've had massive take up on it. So bet 10 on racing multiples and get a free £10 bet. It's a really popular offer.
Well, we love our offers, absolutely, and we've had length in the odds, haven't we? We've had all that sort of thing, but, you know, your money-back specials and all that sort of thing. But listen, you've heard it from Barry. If you don't want to play in every race this afternoon, and we know there's loads of races, you don't have to do that. Safe gambling is what it's all about. All right, okay, so take your time. Really look for your targets. We'll try and help you find them. We've got the arrow here with us today. We already know he's putting up the favourite in the Says, and probably the favourite in the first.
I'm laying that.
And probably the favourite in the Cold Trophy. But look, let's have some fun. We're just looking at York now. The 130's off and running, and actually the ground doesn't look too bad. It was pudding there yesterday. Something's absolutely hosed up in the first on the stand side. It doesn't look too bad, actually. Great crowd at York as well. Great crowd at Newmarket. Dewhurst Day is just very exciting. Whatever wins today, guys, is going to be the top 2-year-old, isn't it? But you can put your money on Barry's multi. The multi on the move, as we like to say. We'll be hoping that goes absolutely flying today. Light Flying Honours looking the first. That's our first race today. The Cesarewitch at Newmarket ends the card. That's pretty 40, isn't it? So we're with you basically up until around about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Great to have you with us. Let us know you're out there. Keep it coming in. We've got a top team in the gallery as well. Sam and Kieran, they'll be plying through everything. Got Louis doing all the socials. Keep looking for that on Twitter as well. Great to have you this afternoon. Lovely time of year this, isn't it? Because we've got Chepstow out there as well at the moment. Jumps fans enjoying the action. Did you watch any of it yesterday at Chepstow?
Bits of it, mate. Yeah, bits of it.
Yeah?
Yeah, saw a little bit. Yeah, Nichols had a nice winner at Sonegino, I think, and there was a couple of other good performances. But no, as you say, it's a good time of year. And obviously,
Betfair Ambassador, you're doing well.
Betfair Ambassador, thank you. Thanks, Barry. And anyway,
Yeah, 119, Danny, you flagged it up as one of the best, the best handicapped horses in the yard. So duly obliged off 119.
Oh, okay. Well. Someone's, of course, he's now racing in the what a friend colours, as you call them, isn't he? He was a bit of an underachiever.
That's right.
Look, the jumpers are out there. We're nearly back, guys. It basically, I think, I don't know, it's like the flat. You wait until the Guineas, don't you? Because you've got the Lincoln gets everyone excited. You've got the Cammage Trophy on that day at Doncaster. And then you've got a month and a half and more on weather racing. Still got Aintree to go, all that sort of stuff. I don't know, with the flat, it's a little bit like stop at Champions Day, a lot of people do. I know we've still got, the Vertem and the races like that.
You're phasing out after Champions Day, aren't you? But you still do have that Doncaster card to look forward to.
And the ground is changing. I mean, we've had such a dry summer over here in Blighty, haven't we? We've got the Curragh there today as well. Aidan O'Brien's already won the first. And he'll be having some decent hours. We've got the Breeders' Cup to go. A quick word on Alpinista.
Great story. I think looking, before the race, Sir Mark Prescott, he also had got a lot of press coverage outside of the sport. I think there was a few interviews in different newspapers that he'd done. And that's important, in terms of the appeal that she had. And obviously she's a fantastic mare. I think she deserved the win. Luke Morris, the sniper gave her a great ride. A guy who doesn't always get, he was at Wolverhampton on Friday night, Wolverhampton on Sunday, on Monday.
Everything he rode was a favourite over that weekend, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was a great story, and she was a good winner. And I think the one to take out of the race, Torquay Tasso, ran well from a wide draw, but Verdani in second as well. Wasn't sure would stay, but
let's
really
hope he stays in training, Verdani, because he looks like a right horse.
Yeah, I believe he is, mate.
That would be great. I hope. Let's hope something goes to the Breeders' Cup because it looks like strong form. Barry, did you enjoy the Arc?
Yeah, it was a good race. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Didn't back the winner, but like you say, good story. It's been well done at this stage, hasn't it, really? Sir Mark Prescott, that whole thing, and Luke Morrison. Nice. I remember Robbie putting it up here as well, and I think a couple of other contributors throughout the season earmarked it as an ARC winner. So hopefully our viewers took advantage of that.
I'm sure they did, absolutely. We've got Baid to come, Barry, next week. We're hoping that Adiyar makes it something of a race, But it's. What sort of price are we going to be looking at, Baid? What, 6 is on?
He's going to be 4s on anyway. I can't see anything making it a race as such, and that's the way they wanted it, really, wasn't it? They never deviated from their plan. So, it's just a little trot around from 4s on, 5s on. He's going to be, and away to stud. It's a bit of an anticlimax, really, for my money.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and a lot of these narratives will be coming out. So that's next week, Champions Day, the best day at Ascot. I don't know. A lot of people that go on the Tuesday.
Best day of the season.
Best day of the season?
Yeah, best day of the season. Yeah.
All right. Well, you can
not
catch
close to day one of the Royal Meeting.
No? You don't think so?
No. Not close to day one of the Royal Meeting.
Well, it's got to be close, isn't it?
I think as an experience, I prefer Champions Day.
What's that?
The weather's closing in. It's not so many socials there. Do you know what I mean? All that sort of stuff, and you just
not that hot. Either.
I've had some great days
at
hot
Royal Ascot, isn't it? Every time.
And I think if the weather's set fair, there's a bit of rain around next week, but nothing biblical, hopefully.
Yeah, I actually reckon the Champions Dates will be. I don't think it's going to be too bad.
Hang on, are we getting a little bit Rodway in the studio here for a second?
Me and Rodway are chatting about it. Like Bay Bridge, if he comes back, he's not going to beat Baid, but
is he going to run?
I don't think there's going to be no hopers in behind.
Well, Sir Michael Stout, it could be a big day for him. It could be a big Saturday next week. We've got Nostrum coming up, of course. Barry, let's come to you before we look at the first. Coming up, of course, the Zetland Stakes, a mile 2. But the Dewhurst, for many, will be the race of the day today. Juddmonte have got 2 in it. Chaldean's been the steamer. Spoke to Andrew Balding about this chap yesterday. He's got the feeling he's just confident he's going to go close. That he's been the one for money. What was... Nostrum, of course, unbeaten so far for Sir Michael. Looked really impressive there last time. We'll get to see the form with Holloway Boy in the 225, hopefully advertising it. He's been massively easy to back, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's out around the 9 to 4 mark now. Like you say, it's the other jump-on runner that's come in for good support. And Ryan Moore's ridden both of them, ridden Chaldean, and he gives that a favourable mention. in his blog, which you can read exclusively on betting.betfair. Naval Power, some money for that is shortened into 7-2. That's my own fancy in the race. Ace of Fables back on a bit of decent ground. You can't put a line through him at 7-1, but it's a fascinating race. Always is a fascinating race, the Dewhurst, and be interesting to see how these 2-year-olds sort themselves out.
We're about an hour and 20 away from that, and 3 p.m. Do not miss it. Listen, if you want to know where your money went in that, for example, we call this the second screen experience. We're here to tell you the best anti-post analysis in the business, but although straight after the race. This is where you want to hear it. We'll be getting quotes coming in from our roving reporters at the track. Barry's going to have some fun on the exchange and the sportsbook as well. And what's the trade in the 150, Barry?
Yeah, so this time 2 weeks ago, Dave, we were lengthening the odds on 2-7 chance flying honours. This time round, I'm a layer of. Now, I know the race last day turned into a bit of a 2-furlong sprint, and it didn't really suit him. He's stepping up to 10 furlongs here, which is important. The sun to see the stars. He's going to stay all day. But if this is any way tactical, I think he's going to struggle again. He just hasn't got that tactical speed. He will stay, though, if they make it a real gallop. He might have to make his own running here as well, because if Ryan Moore drops out Band of Steel, there's no confirmed pace in this race. He's into 1.98. He had been 2.42. But what we're going to do, Robbie, we're going to lay him, and I'm happy to be a price taker here and lay him at 1.98. I think he's going to go off odds against around the 5-4 mark. So we're going to take 50 quid at the backer stake. We'll have a liability of about 48 quid. So we're a layer of flying honours at 1.98, taking 50 quid at the backer stake.
Interesting. Okay, Barry thinks this will go off odds against flying honours. We'll get what the panel think about it. You get the feeling that for Maltese across the land today, this is a big start, isn't it? He let us down. There's no doubt in that in the Royal Lodge. You remember Caribus got beaten for them in that race, and he's trying to do what Caribus did, this horse, and turn out again at this meeting. Now, it's interesting. It's all you need to know about flying honours here, because Caribus went for what will be the 225 coming up when he won, and put that 101 hideous to bed. He won the Autumn Stakes. That's a Guineas horse. This is more of a Derby horse, right?
Yeah, and also I feel that Caribus should have won that race where Royal Patronage beat him. He just got sort of reeled in very late, didn't he, by Royal Patronage. I thought he was kind of unlucky that day. Whereas I don't know if Flying Honours was that unlucky, really. I mean, a couple of the others were also kind of inconvenienced by the way it panned out. It did turn into a sprint.
You're against it?
I'd bang against him, yeah. I can't believe he's odds on. And I fully expect him to go off odds against. I like Galactic Jack, but listening to Andrew Baldwin yesterday, he was quite cold on him, wasn't he?
I've gone for this. Well, we both tipped it up on What a Shout, didn't we? Then we spoke to Andrew, and he was like, if he's finished in the first 4, we'll be happy. We were a bit deflated by that.
A little bit, yeah. But you are taking a bit of a chance with a lot of these. They've only run 2 or 3 times. But I like what I saw from him at Goodwood. I like his breeding. And he's the only horse that's won over a mile 2. It's a big ask for juveniles to go this far.
Could be next year's Queen's Vase horse, he said, but he wants to be nearly winning this for my money. He has been quite easy to back. Before we go to Danny for his selection and hear what you like out there, come on, let's open the show. Who is it? Who have we got? There's a bet. Who's going to open up the social corner? Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Drum roll, please. And Jake Galloway has the honours on this Dewhurst Saturday afternoon. All best of luck, guys. And to you, Jake, one of our regulars. Shrewd judge out there is Jake. Anything else coming my way? Not yet. Okay, all right. Jake, hello. Who else is out there? Let us know. I've been pretty busy as we were just watching Flying Honours go down. He's wearing one of the red hoods. Interestingly, stalls on the stand side at Newmarket this afternoon. You've seen all the Dewhurst back, haven't you, in the Autumn Stakes? They vie for that rail. Okay, now, interestingly, he's the only one going for that stand side. If you watched the racing there yesterday, they were all exploring the far side. The rails have been moved out slightly. I'd be a little bit surprised if they didn't go down. All the rest of the field going far side then to see what the best ground like is on the way down. That's what the jocks do. And yet William Buick taking the favourite down on his own, hard against the stands rail. Let's watch him in the market before we do some more socials. I don't know. Okay, we're expecting it to go 2s. Dan's pretty good, says the commander. Hope he gets a winner or 2 today. Dan's pretty good.
From the commander.
I see. There's a bit of banter, Barry, between you and the commander in the chat as well, wasn't there? About he's now putting up lucky 15s before we even get a chance to do so.
Yeah, he's stealing my thunder with the lucky 15s. But fingers crossed that he manages to get a couple of winners on the board. Hopefully both of us will. Just looking at Marco Fu doing a 147 in front of his home crowd, the biggest crowd ever at a live snooker event in Hong Kong, and he just done a 147. Amazing scenes.
Amazing scenes, yeah. Okay, great stuff. I could see you looking at something out there.
That's snooker for those who don't know. So
yeah, absolutely. Are you a snooker fan?
Huh? Nah, not really, mate. I don't understand why they wear waistcoats as well. Never. weird, isn't
It was
it?
a bit smart.
That's another one as well.
a typical Wilder's view on that.
I've got another view as well.
Why are they wearing bow ties?
Why do referees in boxing wear bow ties?
Well, because it's a gentleman's. That's what it's the old school.
Gentleman's
isn't it,
sport. They're bashing.
Well, you go into the Ritz, they're going to wear a top hat, aren't they? And like, you know, what I mean, a good dress up experience.
Get the fella in a black Nike tee. I think.
There's no hope for him, I'm afraid. There is a poll out there as well. We will get to Danny's tip in a second. There's a poll out there. Who wins the Dewhurst Stakes? Let us know. Will it be Nostrum, Chaldine, Naval Power, with Barry's teas that he likes already in there, the Godolphin Wind Machine, or something else? Get your votes in. We'll announce that just before the race. Danny, what wins the opener?
I'm going to be with Dear My Friend. I'm taking on the favourite as well. It was very impressive, of course, at Salisbury. You could obviously make excuses last time. I think they were 7.5 seconds slower than the standard time with that farcical race. But I just thought Dear My Friend ran well enough in listed company last time out and didn't lead last time out in France. But I thought had took a keen hold before, could try and make all, and could maybe just stretch them here and hopefully could expose flying honours. So I thought Dear My Friend at around 6-1 was definitely worth being.
So we're all taking on this fav, right? All of us. Danny's going in for the second fav, and yet he's still not going to that Magic Eva money mark, is he? So I mean, and you can often tell with the Godolphin horses as well when they expect them, they are strong in the market. You know, I don't need to go to Barry to tell you that. And well, he's if anything, is it lack of support for the others, Barry, that's keeping him odds on?
Yeah, it's probably a healthy mixture of both. He's 194 now, 192, so he's tittering around that 10-9 on mark. There had been money for Batesman Bay. He was into 9. He's back out to 10 now. Dear My Friend 7.2, and it's 14 bar. Yeah, so don't forget, like six of the 9 runners here are last time out winners. You know, so there's no mugs in here. And I don't know. Just the favourite last day was very disappointing for my money.
Yeah, last favourite to win this. I'm looking down. Can anyone remember the last favourite to win? It was in 2017. Probably the best horse to win this, you could argue, in the last 10 years as well.
God.
Well, straight in there, Danny Archer. Look at this. He's got proper notes as well. Oh, can I tell you what?
Oh, are they Danny's notes?
You're going to be seeing Natalie Green back on this soon, and she does the Queen of Notes. But Danny, this is all like, you know what I mean? It's all properly typed.
Got to pick those favourites.
Start doing that.
I'll tell you what. There's a bloke here that's struggling to do the Welsh Champion Hurdle preview for tomorrow.
I've already tried to. I've delegated that.
He's trying to get rid of the job.
No.
If you ever find yourself short work done, trust me, you're in. Andrew Balding's had 6 previous runners in this race, only 2 have hit them. The place mark. He hasn't won it. And like I say, he was weak on Galactic Jack, but he stays. Me and Robbie like him. Of course, so we'll see where they come in the straight. We'll give you the time straight away afterwards. We'll get a steer on the ground. Should be ideal, shouldn't it? I don't know. Autumn good ground, isn't it?
Should be.
Yeah, no excuses.
Autumnal good ground. It's a lovely thing, isn't it? Just looking at the market there. So give me
some of the winners of this, Dave, have been a bit disappointing, really.
It's a bit of a curate's egg, Dan, this race. It could be a bit of a red herring. Goldspur last year won it for Charlie Appleby.
Yeah, he's not done much since.
We haven't seen him, unfortunately, yet. Lone Eagle was a decent animal, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. You could argue he was the best, really.
I remember it more for a horse that got beaten at 2 years ago that I backed.
Hang on.
Who's
Mighty Kyprios.
Oh, yes.
Went off 2-1 favourite in this 2 years ago and couldn't put one leg in front of the other. Literally couldn't walk the horse.
No Aiden runner in the course this year.
That was strange.
Yeah, just show, but you can see them. It is thought to be, Barry, isn't it? Ledgery type horses, Queen's Vase, as Andrew Balding said to me.
So. Yeah. If they're looking for 10 furlongs at this stage of their career, all they're going to do is stay, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Rafe Beckett won it with Max Vega, who's still ploughing his trade, isn't he? Around, you know.
Coronet was a Group 1 winner.
Coronet she was a good horse. Fillies can
Lone
do it.
Eagle just touched off in an Irish derby after trading at 33-1 on under Frankie Dettori.
Very good horse for the Meads.
Have won this year.
Yeah, and Bally Lynch stud, wasn't he? Very good horse. So look, let's hope we see something here. There are some interesting horses in against it. I thought Tenerife Sunset might be a likely pace angle for you guys out there. From stall 3 for Charlie and Mark Johnson. Andrea Azzini now back freelance, of course, the top jockey. Blanchard is quite interesting on his second at Sandown. At Ascot, he's quite interesting, that's for sure.
Odds against now.
Oh, he's called it. He's called it.
Just creeping in there.
Well done, Barry. So there you go, you see. This is what you get here. If you're out there and you're trading, it's an angle that we don't go into too much because we like to have a lot of fun.
Bay, well punted now into 8-6, 8-4.
This is the Balding or the Beckett.
He's very much in our lucky
Beckett,
15
he's just
as
had the first winner up in York as well.
That was his. It absolutely hosed up, didn't
the nursery.
Right.
Yeah, Danston, horse called Gray's Monument.
I should stipulate that the each way lucky 15 returns 40 bags. If it
does it?
So Good luck to Batesman's boy.
That's 1,000 to any of the viewers that don't understand the
Yeah, I suppose.
lingo.
I don't know how many Cockneys we've got watching. But.
Well, I'm not sure how many Cockneys we've got in here as well, but they are off and running then in the Zetland Stakes of 2022, the 150. Good luck whichever way you play. Let's have a look what's going on. Lightsea Galactic Jack up there, dear my friend, as well for Archie, the other Johnson horse. Thought Tenerife Bay might be out there, but is that right out the back? Looking for the favourite. Unexpectedly riding hard against that rail. The clue was there when William went down, wasn't it? Metal Merchant, progressive horse for the Shannons. They've shown that they can do this with the 2-year-olds. Looking at them in the middle, Blancheland is there. Kirby's got a lovely little sit as well. Lift off out the back, very keen as well. They're very spread out, looking for the well back. The late money horse, Bateman's Bay as well. Danny, what's catching your eye? You're in front.
I'm happy that he's keen, but he's not as keen as he was at Dover and a couple of other starts. I think I'm happy enough. Ryan Moore's the one who's had a bit of trouble settling Band of Steel. Favourite, you can't complain, in the van, ready to strike at any time. I think Batesman's Bay's a little bit of running to do, but yeah, I'm happy enough, and obviously you're in second. Galactic Jack, the only thing was Jack Naylor. Would he like a bit more cut in the ground out of Jack Naylor? But I don't know. Could be one for next year.
Again, that
The favourite going to meet traffic, is he?
Possibly, Barry. So they are now. This is got to expect it for the rest of the meeting. Maybe bar the says when they will go far side, we think. But it's stand side action here. 4 furlongs out. I think they've got a right old pace, Robbie, as well, haven't they? And we are what you think is in pole. Do you reckon he'll find trouble? Oh, hang on a minute. What's gone here? Oh, no, one's gone.
Oh.
Barry, that must have been a Clip Hills. That was lift off.
Frankie
on his return.
Barry's a bit ahead of us.
Yeah,
Drama. Okay,
Go on, then.
Galactic Jack looking like a stayer. Now the
Galactic
favourite's got the split, guys. This is going to take some beating, I think. But dear my friends in front, Danny Archer.
Go on, he's still in front, flying on as now the one who's given him bit to do. Bateman's Bay also staying on. It looks like it's between these two. Kirby, that one, Blanchard trying to find a gap.
Into the dip. I'll tell you what,
Go on, King's Cook. Go
Galactic,
on, my son.
That's it. Danny shouted home. Absolutely. You can tell someone's back this. But the favourite's coming. He went off odds against. Those of you that have laid him, look away. Adam Kirby is going to be the one
Kirby,
that might beat you. It's going to be, is it the Batesman or the Blanchard? Oh, it's just got it. The professional attitude of flying on. As you can tell, William quite enjoyed that as well. He's just idled a bit in front. He looks like next year's stayer, Barry Orr.
Yeah, he's just held on there, hasn't he? Dear My Fan traded at a low in run. Oh, Danny Frankie got a right fall there, lads.
He walked away. That's good.
Dear My Friend hit a low at 3.55. Your runner-up Blancheland hit a low of 2.66. The winner had a Betfair SP at 204, so just over even money. But yeah, he's put it up to him there, Dear My Friend and Blancheland. But he's stead on better than the others, hasn't he? I don't know what to read into that form, but he's a horse to look forward to in some of the bigger races next year.
Well, we've got a bit of time to talk about the form of that race, Barry. You're quite
Unchanged
right.
at 16 for the Derby.
Yeah, that's about right. And look, because he got beaten last time in the Royal Lodge, a little bit like Caribus last year. So he's done what Caribus did last year, got beaten in the Royal Lodge, has come, albeit not in the Autumn Stakes. He's definitely a stayer, this horse. I like the way he pulled out and he went onto the bridle. But because he's been beaten in that Royal Lodge, people they find it hard to forgive. We all do, don't we? But I don't know, if you're with him again today, you're very happy with him. I think he's definitely a Group 2 horse, isn't he?
Yeah, but listen, he's knuckled down. He's beaten a Johnston horse. They're always tough to get past, and he's done it nicely. Seeing off, Blanchland, when we came to the dip, I think me and Robbie both thought had a chance of going very, very close. So solid enough, but I don't think I'd be with him in a dark. I think there's probably some at Godolphin which are...
You could argue that's a bit of a push for Holloway Boy and Marbarn as well in the Dewhurst, because was beaten by them, of course, in the Vintage Stakes. That was Dear My Friend, and he's run an absolute blinder the second there, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen experience come to the fore there. Both the first and second have run 4 times, so the horses with only 2 runs behind them got a little bit found out.
Balding
I
knew.
think it's quite important. Yeah, he did, yeah.
Balding knew. Galactic
I wish we did that interview before.
Well, what? Yeah, so you'll sort of lift it again. Be careful. You're lifting the fourth wall there. Because because we actually
it does,
recorded
yeah,
after the show.
Of course, yeah. But the way events panned out, I personally hadn't seen that interview. So.
No, but would you have changed your mind? Because you are a bit of a stubborn
I
individual.
wouldn't know, because trainers get things wrong, tipsters get things wrong, everyone gets things wrong, don't they?
Has anyone watched Horsepower out there? We should have a little word about that, shouldn't we? With the Amazon Prime.
I haven't yet.
No,
I will get round to it, but I'm actually at the moment obsessed with Ted Lasso. So once I finish Ted Lasso, I'll be on Horsepower.
It is rather consuming. We're just having a look at this fall, guys. It looks like a clipped heels. We'll try and find out the excuse for that. I'll tell you what, the second was not done many favours there. I'm not suggesting that he's cost Blanchard at all, but he just had to he definitely got him out of his rhythm. And he was tracking the favourite at the time, Adam Kirby, and he's just run really green after that. I'll tell you what, if you're Jane Chapelheim, you're thinking you've got a really nice horse for next year. I wonder if that goes and tries and wins the race that she won at Royal Ascot this year. What was the horse that you liked?
Sorry, what was
What was the Jane Chapelheim horse
It
that you
beat
liked?
Reach for the Moon.
Claymore.
Yeah, Claymore.
I wonder if that's Claymore
Very good
that we've
friend.
just seen there.
Could be. I do like the white bridles that Jane deploys.
You do?
Yeah, it's just something different, isn't it, mate?
Is it a Kiwi thing? I don't know, really. Might be. She always does it, doesn't she?
I think it must be, yeah.
Probably is.
Must be.
The big thing for me, Dave, I'm looking forward to one horse today.
Oh.
Epictetus. Flying honours.
225.
Fourth to it
You're
on
up against
debut.
me and you're up against me in the Vildas.
Yeah.
Fourth to it on debut, Epictetus. Flying honours was, so that could be the good thing.
It was a very good maiden that it won. We've not seen it since. That's coming up at 2:25. We must go up to York, however, because we're about 9 minutes away from a 2-year-old listed race, Barry Orr. Secret Angel doesn't go.
Yeah, Secret Angel doesn't go. Alpha Capture is 4.1 bolt action. Bay of Plenty's been the spring in the race. Was 20-1 on Thursday when we first went up with this. He's into 5.6 now. Kima 9.6, 11 Rousing Encore. Yeah, I was looking to take on Bay of Plenty. The race that it won in Nace hasn't really worked out well. Now, when he got the gaps and he got a clear run, he quickened up nicely, and he'll probably come on for that. But this is a massive step up for him. So we're just going to look to lay him in the 3 places here, please, Robbie.
Yep.
So if you toggle to the 3 places, he's currently trading at 204, little over even money. Let's take 50 quid out of him at that. 208 actually to lay him. Again, happy to be a price taker. You know these colours, guys? What are these colours famous for?
Oh, yeah.
What, the Bay of Plenty? That's Media Puzzle, isn't it?
That's one of them.
Didn't
Media Puzzle?
Didn't they have a horse?
More famous one than that, Dave.
Is there?
Down in your neck of the woods, yeah.
Hang on a minute. All right.
Didn't they've had
First
horses?
European horse to win a Melbourne Cup.
That was Media Puzzle, wasn't it?
Was that Dermot World? I mean, that's before
Was
my
that not
time.
Media Puzzle?
I couldn't.
Dave?
Did those colours have a horse with Aidan O'Brien a few years ago, Barry? I think.
No,
That's Michael Smurf, a vintage crop.
Vintage
Beyond
crop.
vintage crop. Yes, Dave.
He's got me there. That's a bit of an annoying one, isn't it? I could just see
93 Melbourne Cup.
That was Michael
1993,
Canal,
that's my
wasn't it?
year
Of
of
course,
birth,
yeah.
mate. I wasn't watching racing then.
No, you weren't. But when it comes to the Melbourne Cup, we always trot out. You know, Dermot was the first one to go and break the seal down there.
Because every time we write a story, he's like the pioneering.
Well, it was an amazing time down there, Rob, because no one was doing it, you know, and they went down there and they wrestled it off them and they hated it. And so they keep wheeling it out. And
They said it couldn't be done.
They said it couldn't be done.
Really?
Yeah. And he went down there and he basically...
Oh, how the tables have turned.
And he really tore them a new one, let's put it that way.
Well,
and it was extremely well backed as well. Yeah, it was an amazing horse vintage crop. He went and did it with Media Puzzle, of course. Damien Oliver, you remember? That's the one that I remember when his brother had sadly just died a year before. He looks up to the skies. Melbourne Cup, of course, in around about a month's time. I'm excited.
We're doing an RP Live for that, are we?
We should do. It's a great card.
Don't get me on, mate, because I don't really like being up.
I once did out the races on that card and I had to stay up all night.
Really?
Yeah, but it is such a good card. I've got derbies. I mean, it is unbelievable day down there. Don't get me started. I was watching it this morning. It was good stuff down there. Yeah, lovely.
What time was that on this morning? Must have been early.
I think we saw the Cox Plate winner this morning.
What time was that?
What, this morning?
Yeah.
You've got to get up at 5. I've got 2 young uns, so it's easy to
I suppose, yeah.
Easy to do.
Who was that?
Very tricky for you. Anamo's his name. He's a Godolphin horse. It doesn't look like the strongest race again. State of Rest, of course, went over there and did it, didn't it? We'll see what comes down. I think he's the one to beat, though, Anamo.
Any Brits going over for Caulfield Cup?
Find out soon, I guess, won't we? We'll find out soon. Right, more immediate matters. Bay of Plenty, Barry's hope. I really like this chap as well. I put him up. The Media Puzzle horse.
Dave.
Oh, you've laid him, have you? Sorry, I thought you put him up.
I've laid him in the place market.
You've laid him for a place.
Barry's concerned about just the one run. He's concerned about
that. Is controversial.
I'd be concerned about that.
Hang on a minute.
About the form of the race in Nace, it hasn't really worked out.
Yeah, now,
okay. Second,
I'm going to spin that if you don't mind before I give you the chance. The second was well fancied going into it. I know he got first run on it, but I love the quote afterwards of Murtagh when he said, his trainer Johnny, of course, where he said, he showed plenty in the spring, we gelded him and his work went sour, and he was 9-1 when he won that race, which suggests they didn't, he just hoping for a good run. He was green as grass after getting a bit of cover, and he really hit the line quite strongly. I quite like him. He had a 1 run, I know what you mean. We have been seeing him getting cooked, but I thought Bolt Action was probably here as a bit of a plan B.
Also, the amount of like 2-year-old sort of listed races over 6 firms in Ireland, there's so many. Like the fact that he could have stopped over there, I thought as well. He's a new bay, he's going to like the ground. Like that, so.
I don't know, so I'm with him. The first head-to-head then of the day. Barry doesn't like it. I'm going to have a little look at that form.
I think the Aidan O'Brien horse that was third has been well beaten since in the Curragh Maiden, and he was relatively well fancied that day. The fourth is rated 82 now. Like, he wouldn't be led into this race.
The one horse has won this in the past 10 years, Barry, so you got the history is on your side with that. It's Mushier for Roger Varian. I remember a Shadwell horse, very good horse he was. William Haggis has had 6 runners in the race. 2 have hit the post and 1 has scored. Last time out, canonised last year, basically. Won this. Very well raced he was. And I quite like this horse of his, Alpha Capture. I did think he was vulnerable. I saw him when he won at Carlisle, and he was green as grass. He hit the front and he idled. No surprise they put the cheek pieces on last time. Just about sets the standard, and you like him, Danny Archer.
I'm all over him.
He's a fav.
I'm all over him. He's second fav now.
Ring the bell, Barry.
Bolt Action, new favourite. No, I'm all over him. I think it's the form. You've got to look at the form from that Doncaster race. Cold Case has come out absolutely hosed up in the 2-year-old trophy since. I think it could be an interesting one for the Commonwealth Cup.
I'd have won that if I'd have had a run in that.
But there was also Galeron, of course, who was 4th then when he won the Goffs Million
he's coming back
over in Ireland.
He's got some substance.
Holguin has also run well in that since. And Eminency runs tomorrow and should hose up at Goodwood. Looks quite a weak race.
Sunday then all of a sudden.
So I thought it was very tough. I think he just probably didn't stay the extra half furlong there, as bizarre as it sounds.
You're going for
Doncaster.
Alpha to capture the prize.
I think Alpha, Beta, Gamma, he should bolt up here.
Nice one, Danny Arch. You didn't see that one coming,
did you?
It's
It's not relevant, is it?
It doesn't matter.
That's why it's funny.
It is to the name. But you're going in with this as well, aren't you?
Bit of Greek alphabet. Yeah, I am, basically. But just sheeping on what Dan just said.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, is that
Some
right?
insight.
You're not still writing that Welsh Champion Hurdle preview. If you're not aware, it's Foss Lass tomorrow and it's the Welsh Champion Hurdle.
No one's taken the bait. No one wants to do it.
Did he used to be on Arc Day? Have they moved it?
Possibly.
They're really sensitive
only
about
a week
this
away,
meeting, aren't they?
Are they?
At Foss Lass, yeah, massively.
Tell you what, Welsh Champion Hurdle, some decent winners in the last few years.
It was on a Saturday, wasn't it? Did Oscar Whiskey win it? Was he the first horse to win it?
That's a little bit
Di Walters, isn't it?
Anyway, I'm
we're
talking about the new one,
side.
So Royal, yeah, horses like that.
We're watching a group race at the Curragh, and Be Happy's got a lot to do, but there's a split. Anyway, we're watching to see if Aidan can make it 2 from 2 at the Curragh. Welcome along, if you just joined us here on Racing Post Live. Dave Orton, animated as ever, because I've got the Archer with me, Robbie Wilders, and the big hitter himself from Dublin as well, Barry Orr, whose multi is soon to be on the move. Is it, Barry?
Fingers crossed it is, Dave. Yeah, we've got 240 as our next leg. It's the Marching Army.
Marching Army, Godolphin then, of course, already off the bat in the first. A tricky race, that 5-runner race coming up, 240. All right, okay.
Have you seen Horsepower?
Yeah, I watched the first bit. I mean, I must admit, I was sort of, I don't know, tricky, isn't it, to watch
It's
TV?
tricky this time of year, yeah.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot, I'm in a household where it's controversial. Whatever the evening programme is, we've got 2 kids, so we have to put them to bed.
Do your family
never used to watch a lot of TV, and now I've watched everything. But I couldn't tell you what's happening in the show because I'm always on my phone. Mainly so I've seen your producer.
I've seen your screen time, mate. You're pushing 12 hours, aren't you?
Well, that would be kind.
Read a book, mate.
No, I can't. I haven't got time for that. I've got to be, I've got to be honest. It's the only time I can do it.
Do your family like racing?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yours?
Nah, not interested.
You're a lone wolf.
Literally none of my family could.
What about you, Dad?
Give a monkey.
Yeah, Dad loves it. Girlfriend not. My mum used to work in a betting shop, but apart from that, no interest.
Well, it would be interesting to see what they make of Horsepower, because I think if you're a racing fan, it's brilliant, really insightful. Not just insightful, really insightful. I love the way that it's King's Clear, of course. Some people, like Pat Cooney was saying to us yesterday, wasn't it, when we did a show with him, that he found it very elitist.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. My personal issue was I'd have liked to see... Well, I mean, you're talking to a fella here that's only seen 1 episode, but apparently all of it is just centred on the Baldens. Like, I'd like to see sort of maybe some smaller operations as well.
Well, that's it.
Because this is a top-class operation.
Yeah, but at
I
the
want
same
to
time,
see something maybe a bit more gritty.
To combat that, you had All or Nothing was the Arsenal one, wasn't it? You've got the Pep one. You've got it was based
Spurs
on
as well, yeah.
Drive to Success or whatever.
Palace
it was called.
got one, didn't they? For
I think
reason?
it has to be
Leeds.
one operation.
Yeah, Leeds, yeah.
Yeah, but I must admit I did
When's
enjoy
Chelsea?
it.
When's there going to be a Chelsea one, mate? That's what I'm holding out for.
Well, it's a bit controversial at the minute there, so you're not.
Well, not as much as now Roman's gone. Come on.
The best racing one I've seen, and Barry will obviously have seen this, it was broadcast on RTE first, is the Rachel Blackmore one. Very good. I find even I watched that with a lot of people who don't like racing, and even they were captivated by it.
I think that's the trick. I think that's the trick. If you're just coming across it, like you might watch, I don't know, the All or Nothing, even if you're a football fan or just to see what it's like.
Yeah, basically.
Is that going to really get a new audience in?
Yeah, I don't think it will. I mean, did you see the Last Dance as well? Yeah, that was very good, but what point am I making here? My point was, watching that, I didn't feel obliged to watch basketball. Whereas when you watch this, I don't feel you necessarily feel...
I see what you mean, yeah.
You don't really necessarily feel like I'm keen to watch racing. It's just, you sort of just learning a bit about it. But we're all racing fans, so we're
If you're a racing fan, surely out there you loved it, right? Because
exactly.
you're seeing how it all works and some conversations. I asked Andrew yesterday, but it was like he was in the Truman Show. Just like people constantly around. He's always on camera, aren't you?
Good film, that.
They did play it well, the Baldings, and there's some stars emerging. If you haven't seen it, 4-part series on Amazon Prime, of course, go out there and give it some love because it will help the industry, that's for sure. And he did say yesterday that's why he did it. And let's hear from you what you think about it out there. There's Barry's selection. He's play-slaying my selection. It's ridiculous. Paul Bakewell comes back on. Not overly enthused by the next split mistakes at Alpha Capture and Bay of Plenty. Good luck, Paul. Let's hope you're cooking after this. And away we go then. Bay of Plenty, they said he'd be green, but he shows it on the track. He's come out quite nicely. And I like to see that he's got himself a bit of cover behind the leaders. Who's leading then? Danny Archer.
Felix Natalis, obviously, who was proven on the ground, bolted up under Shamie Heffin in Ireland last time out. Looks like Kaina is also prominent. And there's Bolt Action. Bolt Action a bit keen for my liking.
Yes, very keen. Now, the two big market leaders then up against each other. Rousing Encore, he's keen out the back as well. Before I go to Barry, Rob?
They're all travelling fine, mate.
That means not a lot happening, basically, out there. All right, Barry, they're coming to the... it's surely Alpha Capture.
Your favourite now
Tom's going to let him go.
6-4 Alpha Capture. This is what happened to Bay of Plenty and Nace, but he stayed on well, but he doesn't seem to be finding much here.
Tom's got to get him rolling here.
Flat spot, Bay of Plenty's absolutely cooked. Are the leaders coming back? That's the question.
Haggis 1-2 here.
Haggis 1-2 here. We could be seeing this throughout the day. Rousing Encore's the finisher. You can see why the cheap pieces are on Alpha Capture because he's running all the way around. This looks like it's Kaima's in the bag, doesn't it? Last final furlong.
Capture.
Oh, he's going to come second. Come on, Arch, is he going to get
there?
Tom.
Go on, my son.
1-2, 1-2.
Dip your head. Dip your head. Yay!
No, he's not one. He's not one.
No, he's got up.
I think he might have got up. Let's go to the photo. What's it saying, Barry Orr?
No, I thought Alpha Capture just got up on the line.
Think he
the market seems to think so as well. He's 106. So he's 103 now, so 33 to 1 on.
Aye.
I apologise.
Aye. The guys in the gallery about that. Did you out there at all? The two came clear. William Haggis. How many superlatives can we unfurl on him before
he's won that by miles.
Big one next week?
I've got that so badly wrong. Apologies.
What in the photo?
Oh yeah, I thought the other horse won.
I'll tell you what,
Let's get my eyes tested.
Kaima's a horse that came good at the meeting that they had. Was it the Ebor meeting that he won at, indeed? And he
traded at 8 on Kaima.
Oh man, it was the Ebor meeting, but Indian Dream strong. But look, he's done loads wrong, Alpha Capture, hasn't he? But he's got there for you on the line, Barry. You were right about Bay of Plenty as well. I'll give you the vintage crop there.
Yeah, he's ran stink. He's finished second last. He's beaten out of sight. He didn't really settle that well early doors. He pulled a little, but he's probably too bad to be true, that run now, in fairness. So, he's a working project, I would imagine, that horse.
Okay, what sort of horses have we seen for next year, do you reckon? I mean, the two have come clearly. They've got quite clearly group sprinters next year, but are these the sort of horses that will struggle next year in that twilight zone? They've got to step up, haven't they? Big boys are waiting.
Potentially. I think if there was one that not even in this... Cold Case is the best one I've seen so far in terms of that 6-furlong division. Alpha Capture. I think the ground's probably quicker there than you did. It didn't look like they were really chewing it up.
Cold Case, isn't it?
Yeah. I think would be a struggle next year. I don't think, they're not top class, maybe on the verge of Group 3, Group 2 company, but no, the only one I've been really impressive is Cold Case, and obviously the form's been franked with that. Eminency tomorrow, don't forget, runs at Goodwood.
2 races down, 2 favs.
Well, you usually...
The only surprise is that he's not had both of them. But you are maybe having a good day. What's the treble going on to if you're running up already? Barry gets the lay in then in the second. A bit of money going the way of the Injured Jockeys Fund.
Yeah, nice touch.
I'm very hopeful for this race, Barry. It's the 225. We've seen Guineas winners coming out of this. Most notably, Caribus last year, who went on to do the Classic Double. Is there anything of that calibre in this year's field for you?
Yeah, but Epictetus is 3.55. Your favourite, though, now is Holloway Boy, just gone favourite currently at 3.3, 4.9 Silver 9, Exoplanet 7.2, and it's 20 bar. I like Exoplanet in it. Just win only on the exchange, please. Here, Robbie.
Absolute on. You happy with 7.2,
punted
Baz? 7.4?
We'd be a price taker here. He's 7.4 now at the moment. So we're going to have 25 quid win on him. He was well punted when he won in Newbury. Novice over Steckham, 7 furlongs. He stayed on really well that day to lead close home. He was SP to fight to do, having been back from 6 to 1. Now the second is only rated 86 now. The third's been a beaten favourite in a Wolves novice. So the form's not up to much, but I think he'll take a step forward, and he's going to have to here in this company. But just at the price, willing to take a chance and win only on the exchange Exoplanet.
Okay, for Rog. And we did say, didn't we, it was going to be, you might struggle historically to win the 205 at York with just one run. Horses can come here with just one run and do it. And he was the one that pulled it off in that York race. Any love for the Shaker Bade horse, or are we all honing in closer on the market?
Not for me. Open to any amount of improvement, of course.
It's Rog,
is the maiden form as strong as some of the others in this?
Well, when he says, I really like this horse, Roger Vary, and he could, of course, had Sakir running, and unfortunately, it was a dirty scope, wasn't it? But he was going to go the Mill Reef. That's such a shame we didn't get to see him. I imagine they'll put him away. He has been backed, no doubting about it. Exoplanet. He was a double figure when I was looking yesterday. We had a good look at this race, Rob, didn't we?
We did, didn't we? It's just
take it away.
Just the one run. I'm always concerned about horses stepping up in Screw Company after just one run, and that's part of why I'm against Epictetus. You know who Epictetus was as well.
Here we go.
A Greek scholar.
Greek philosopher.
You didn't know yesterday when we were talking. You've since looked.
Well, do you know what? Producer Sam sent me a little chat message yesterday to tell me that.
So what was he again? Epictetus.
He's a Greek philosopher.
Epictetus.
I don't know what his key philosophies were, but
you didn't look that far into it.
Nah.
He was known for the consistency and power of his ethical thoughts and for effective methods of teaching.
So you're expecting to be schooled here.
I am.
If you're with Epictetus.
Yeah, I like Holloway Boy.
Yes, come on.
And
this
I like
is all about the boy.
And I like Nostrum later, so basically double.
This because it's that form, isn't it, from last time where if you were with Nostrum, the great Sir Mike Old Stouts, 2-year-old, hope for next year again. Could this be another Derby winner in the making? A Guineas winner? Could it be a Goland? Something like that, Nostrum. Easy to back as we know, but you'll be hoping that Holloway Boy goes and gives a healthy nod to that form. And when they met 16 days ago at the course, Rob...
Yeah, he travelled well, didn't he?
That was over 7, wasn't it? Are we worried about the mile? He's just a Cheshire winner. We shouldn't be.
I'm not that worried. Ulysses, what's the mare side? Pivotal. I'm not that worried next time.
No, it should be fine. Absolutely fine.
I think it's a very good horse in there. He could have won at Goodwood on another day, I think.
He looked like he had Nostrum in trouble going into the dip, didn't he?
Did, yeah.
He's a strong traveller, Holloway Boy.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to win that at one point, but as you go to show how good Nostrum is, I think. I mean, this horse is... He's won the Cheshire on his debut. That's pretty hard to do. I know the race hasn't worked out brilliantly, but
it was more
Crypto Force was.
I wouldn't worry about that at all with the Holloway Boy. He's shown it since in the Vintage Stakes,
we know he's a good horse. I mean, he's worth his 109 rating.
You do not travel into a race like that, Royal Ascot, in your debut and win unless you're a very smart animal.
And it's just that Silver Knot conceding £3. I don't know if you can do that.
Well, that's the Chaldine form on offer now for the next race coming up. So Dewhurst pointers everywhere.
Lines.
He's another flying honours, though, isn't he? Really, you've got to forgive him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was soft ground
that was soft.
time.
Yeah.
That's where you've got to, do you forgive it just based on soft ground? But he was.
They were very quick to put up an excuse that day, Godolphin, for Silver Knots. He's just, I don't know, he's a bit more exposed, isn't he?
I was praising the form of Cold Case because Wahaj is also one who was involved.
Yes.
Somewhere else, because obviously Galarian was in the Goss Million, but I think that's not unbelievable form given when he won the Solari looks quite weak from what we've seen so far.
Doesn't it? We've not seen the Haggis horse come out that we all thought was going to win that day for Her Majesty.
Yes.
Now, His Majesty inheriting that one, of course. But yeah, okay. A couple of things I want to answer. That you guys have been talking about. We're talking about the Autumn Stakes that's coming up. 2 horses have won this in the last decade with just one next to their name. Can you name them?
Ooh.
One was a Rog horse.
Kingston Hill?
Oh, straight in there.
Well done.
Danny Archie.
He's read his trends.
He is eptitising you here.
Well done, mate.
And I don't know the other one. Godolphin horse, maybe?
Right, what year?
It was a Godolphin horse.
Give me the year.
It was Saeed in 2019. In fact, Godolphin have won the last 3 of this.
Godolphin doesn't have... Saeed doesn't have many 2-year-olds.
They've won 5 of the last 6, Godolphin.
No, in 2019, Saeed.
You could Saeed. Military March was the name of the horse.
Yeah.
I was with him that day. Everyone thought it was going to be a Derby horse. He just didn't go on, did he? I don't think.
Didn't he beat another Godolphin horse into second?
Very good, Alsa Hale.
Yeah, Alsa
Hale.
Hale,
Very good. There we go. Ropey Guess was third. Our favourite.
Epictetus would be proud of us.
Is it Epictetus?
I don't
Epictetus?
You're
Anyway.
missing out the T, mate.
Epictetus.
Trading Leathers won this. He was a great horse.
Epictetus.
Kingston Hill went on to
Epictetus.
win a St Ledger. Horse called Commemorative won it for Charlie Hills. What did that go on and do? Gifted Master was a great sprinter for Hugo Palmer. Then we go to Godolphin. Best Solution was a very good horse to say. Gayeth, who went on to be one of the world's best horses. He won it in 2017. That was a right old punt job, that was. Persian King for Andre Fabre, who beat...
Magna Graecia.
Yes, so
that is memory.
You can get... Well done, Rob. You're happy with
Good,
yourself
Rob.
there. You can get beaten in
I'll
this
put
race,
myself
in other
up
words, and
against
go and win a
anyone.
Guineas.
In things like that.
So if Holloway Boy gets beaten, I'll be crushed today, but I don't imagine that the war is over with him. I like him. Barry likes Exoplanet. Danny, you're with the Goz.
I'm with however we're pronouncing this, Greek scholar. Yeah, I just think you've got to look at the form here. Okay,
Well, you're going to call this race, Danny, so you need to get the name down.
Ledman hasn't run since, but if you look at the form apart from that, of course, you've got the third Desert Order who went and won the Convivial in good style.
Andrew
and
Balding's
Flying
lead
Honours,
man.
of course, was fourth. I think there's been more winners in the race, including the 5th and 6th.
It was a
I
very
just think
good
it's strong
time.
form. Martin Harley didn't have to use his whip. He absolutely cruised into it,
Yeah.
bolted up. Listen, I completely appreciate what you two are saying and could be proven wrong. But
It's
I just thought-
exciting, this race, isn't
happy
it?
to
We've
be
got
with him.
cream of the crops coming up in the next hour or so here. 2-year-old boys, you know, this is as good as it gets, really. And this will be, you know, apart from the Vertem Futurity, you can go to France if you want for Son Club. You're going to get horrible ground over there, aren't you? You can occasionally see a good Aiden horse over there, but this is as good as it gets, isn't it? And I still think we're going to see a Group 1.
It's good, isn't it? Because we're going to learn a lot about the Dewhurst from
Yes.
this as well.
Yeah, because it's not
It's
just
going to change
the
the
two
Dewhurst.
horses.
It's going to change the Dewhurst market. There are a few different form lines here.
Yeah, because
that affect horses one way or
Dancing
another.
Magic is interesting.
Yeah, you affects Naval Powers form.
So Barry will be looking for a good run from Dancing Magic here
Yeah.
for the Teals. Jim Crowley, big 7
wonder
days
how
coming up.
Frankie will be getting up here. Will he be a little bit stiff and sore? He's sure to be at his age after taking a fall like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Jockey's falling off horses. God, reminds you of last
On the
weekend.
flat
doesn't
as
it?
well.
Madness. But
Yeah.
thankfully,
Speed, 30,
painful.
35, 40 miles an
Yeah,
hour,
not for
hitting the
me.
deck, 51, 52 years of age.
yeah, they were revving up as well at the
Pretty
time,
crazy.
weren't they? It was. If you're wondering what's happened, Frankie took a fall. Was it an unseat or did the horse come down? I can't remember. Let's have a
All
look at
happened
the
very
Clip
quickly,
Deals,
didn't
wasn't
it?
it?
But Barry
Deals,
Strafe was a
definitely
little bit
Clip
ahead of
Deals.
us as well. So we just heard a whoa, and we're like, what's happened?
Usually, I
okay.
saved that for the national hunt, Robbie.
That is it. Understood.
Let's get some social
early
love
morning
out there,
signal.
shall we? Okay, so they're still going around, aren't they? We've got what around about. We've got a bit of time actually, so let's open up the floor. Andy Sims comes back on and says, "Holloway Boy in my singles, doubles, and trebles, and everything I can put them in." Well done, Andy. I'm hoping that you are,
You're on to a winner there, son.
as usual, on target. Good to have Anil Supali come back on the show. He says, "Dancing Magic each way." So you're going to have to play that cleverly, I suppose, Anil, aren't you? With 6 runners here. What?
3 places on the exchange, maybe.
We've got the exchange in the 3 places.
Roger
What
Till.
is he
Exchange,
currently?
singular.
I'm going to have a little look at that because I don't know. He could just surprise a few, couldn't he?
5 to 2, 3 places.
There you go, Anil. You'll be looking at that then very much. Anything else coming out there on Social World?
He's drifted quite a lot, Dancing Magic,
Okay,
isn't he?
keep them coming out guys. We're
Dancing
gonna-
Magic was about 6 to 1 yesterday. He's at 16s.
I don't know. Does that really surprise you?
Maybe that was incorrect.
I think
pricing.
I think the
A
market
bit of money's
was always
come for
gonna-
Exoplanet today.
We're looking for the sexy ones here, aren't we?
Sexoplanet.
Sexoplanet. Epictetus. Epictetus. Epictetus.
Epictetus.
That's it,
You're
right?
going to have
Can
to
we
get that
agree?
right when you're commentating as
It's
well.
a tricky one, isn't it? No, that's wrong.
That's not. Epictetus.
Epictetus.
Epictetus. But where's the other T? Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
It's
Sorry.
5 letters in,
Epictetus.
mate.
Get my eyes.
Just
I hope
think
you're not going to SOS
2 words.
anytime soon, Dan.
2 words. Epic, then tetus.
Yes.
Right, I'm there.
Epictetus.
Has Robbie ever tried the commentary, Dave?
Yeah. Oh, maybe you weren't on that show, Barry, but it didn't go well, mate.
Yeah, it didn't
What
go
happened?
well. It went absolutely
It was
terribly.
that veterans race at Sandown.
Yeah, I mean, we should, on Top
Had
Gear,
you-
how they used to have
Had you
that.
advance notice that you were doing it, or did Dave just throw it to you at the last second?
I was just being a bit cocky, saying, yeah, I reckon I could do that.
I
But I realised
him out a
that
bit.
it's harder than it looks, mate.
What
If
we
you-
ought to do on this, look, I don't know if you can see it here, but right there behind Danny, we ought to have, like on Top Gear, they used to have, when they used to like have
Oh, yeah,
celebrities
tallies.
driving.
Yeah.
We should have the
Time.
worst commentary or the best. And Paul Keeley would be somewhere down there, but you're below him.
I don't deny it, mate. It's
You
it's
are
hard.
absolutely below him.
It's hard to do. I'm
Who
not
would
rate
like to see
myself
Robbie do
for
a
being-
commentary?
No.
We're just seeing
I'd like
Rosabarian
to see
being
Barry
interviewed.
try and do one as well, to be fair.
Yeah, but Barry has a go. It was in national time. Barry has a go. Well, have we got any potential of you coming back into the studio, Barry? I know it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's a huge month coming up for Betfair in November, isn't there?
Yeah, October and November. Yeah, so I'll be on course for a lot of those Saturdays, Dave, coming up, the Paddy Power meeting and the Betfair Chase, and obviously into Tyndall Creek and all those meetings in early December. So looking forward to getting racing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're ready, aren't we? I guess, look, again, we're watching the horses go down for the Autumn Stakes at the moment. We've got Chepstow on today, so we'll keep an eye. If you want to know any jumpers to follow maybe from the guys today, maybe do that. I see that there was a little social out there saying, what's the best gambling film you've ever seen, the best betting film you ever seen? Was it Dylan out there?
Not too many. I'd say Squid Game. It's not a film.
Squid Game?
You seen Squid Game?
It
is ultimately about betting.
The Sting is the best one, isn't it? The Sting.
I've not seen that.
I've never seen this thing.
Oh, it's absolutely superb. It's about the bookies based in the way. Oh, so if you've never seen The Sting with Paul Newman, absolutely superb. Yeah, The Sting would be my one, I think.
That's a list.
I quite like Lucky Number 11. Have you ever seen that? That's an American
Who's
film.
in it?
I think Ben Kingsley's in it, is he?
Really?
He's good, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Ben Kingsley.
If you've never seen that, that's about a lot of action at the track. What else is there?
Love Ben Kingsley's performance in Shutter Island.
Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
Oh, yes.
Possibly one of the best episodes of a series ever filmed was when
the
they
Derby
did the
one.
Derby. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
A lot of people can mess up racing on TV, some of these dramas, but that was actually well done. You see some of them that don't always...
Did you ever see
They did screw up one thing. I can't remember what it was, but I remember saying to our family at the time, like, Pete, that's wrong.
Factually wrong.
Yeah, factually incorrect, yeah. Well, in terms of, like the format of horse race, how it works.
The Crown, of course. Have you ever seen that on Netflix? They go to Windsor a lot and pretend it's Ascot and things like that. Nice. They've done a lot of that there. So let's hear it out there from you. That was a great question, by the way, from our community out there. Was it Dylan? I can't remember who it was. I threw my producer under the bus saying, I like that one. Let's get it up. Perhaps they'll scroll up and find it. Great to have you joining us this afternoon. Really good numbers out there watching. Here we are on Racing Post Live, approaching the Autumn Stakes. Guineas winners come out of this. Ooh, fingers on the buzzers, Barry, for the classic market coming up. But who's going to go off fab? I said yesterday it would be Holloway Boy. Am I going to echo you with Flying Honours and be right?
No, I don't think so. I think the Gosden horse, Epictetus, could go off favourite here. It's very tight at the moment.
We've just been wondering how to pronounce that, Barry.
I don't know if Barry nailed it there.
I think that was a sort of like, I think he just about got away with it. Epictetus, we thought it was. No, Epictetus.
It's
Epictetus.
It's Epictetus.
Why would you name a horse like this? It's just to annoy people like us, isn't it? Why can't it just be an easy Holloway Boy? For that reason, I wanted to win more.
We need to commemorate these historical figures, mate, yeah?
George Strawbridge loves Greek philosophers, clearly.
Yes, of course.
Exactly.
In
100 years' time, I'd like to think there's a horse running called the Anti-Postman. But
favourite George Strawbridge horse? We're not going to see Free Wind, unfortunately, again.
Moonlight Cloud for me.
Moonlight Cloud, who nearly shot Bambi's mother.
Yeah.
With Black Caviar.
Journey.
Journey was a good one.
Journey. Rainbow View was an absolute whizzer.
We've got Mimic Q.
Wasn't that the Jimmy Fortune days?
She could nearly win next week, could she? Yeah. Filly and Mares?
Above the Curve, coming back.
Oh, she's a toughie. She ran another good race, didn't she? We all fancied that last Sunday.
To be honest.
What?
Bit annoyed she didn't win that.
Well, we're all a bit annoyed she didn't win, but she's just a great each-way horse, and she's usually an each-way price, isn't she? That's the good thing about her.
Yeah,
above the curve. We'll see if she goes, of course. Another Betfair ambassador, Joseph O'Brien.
Well, we're missing a massive Strawbridge.
No, not anymore.
Oh, isn't he?
No, it hasn't been for about a year.
What?
All right.
Hasn't he?
Well, we'll stop giving him so much respect.
Yeah, that's the best advertising you ever did, Barry, because I've been saying it just about everywhere I go. Oh, right, okay. There goes his appearance on this show then.
Exoplanet well punted now into 5.6.
Would that be the big
so
gamble then, Barry?
5.7. Yeah, your favourite is Frankie's Mount at 9-4 now, 5-2 Holloway Boy.
I didn't know that about Joseph. I thought
No, I didn't either.
And Barry also.
Barry Holloway Boy's getting a bit tasty at the stalls.
If it's good for Blackbeard, it's good for Holloway Boy, Barry. He's not pig-footing, is he?
Pig rooting, no.
Oh no! Every time.
Pig rooting.
The blue riband that is the Autumn Stakes. Pig footing. I prefer pig footing to pig rooting. I can tell you that.
Sounds better, yeah.
It does. Sounds a hell of a lot better, doesn't it? All right. Good luck wherever you're playing. Then Barry says the gamble of the race is Roger's horse. I like him a lot.
That's a right old gamble, that.
And bearing in mind, Sakir would have been very close to the top of the market in the Dewhurst. They've got the 2 year olds.
He's the best 6 furlong horse we've seen this year, isn't he, Sakir?
It's hard to argue with
I know
that.
Danny was making a case for Pole Case, but I thought Sakir.
Sakir's going to eat him up and chew him out.
Sakir,
you're on the wrong side of the argument there.
Pole Case second.
You're on the wrong
side. Noble Star.
Or Blackbeard as well, maybe.
Blackbeard's been I've huge respect for Blackbeard because he's been beaten. He keeps coming back. People call him names because of the big rooting. And
weird.
he goes and wins,
all O'Brien's best juveniles now are known in nevers, aren't they?
Well, lots to talk about that
quite strange.
next spring.
That one that won yesterday, the horse of Richard Henry's that won. That's a no-name never as well. Something Mile, what was it called?
Oh, yeah, of course.
That won in Newmarket yesterday.
Yeah.
Midnight Mile? No?
That's it.
Richard Fire,
That's it. Was it the So Sharp Stakes?
He's a no-name never as well.
Yeah, okay, all right.
No, Never's getting a few sort of milers.
I think I'm right, Barry. I've got the Fav. I knew the Fav would be Holloway Boy. Dave Orton is right. Let's see if he's right come the end of the race. All right, off we go. And I guess Exoplanet, the one with the lesser experience, he wasn't the best away. Absolutely pinged the lids, though, did Dancing Magic. Holloway Boy's up there as well. He definitely wants a lead. Clifford Lee, that's for sure. Putting some pressure on the favourites at the moment is Killybegg's Warrior up there as well. Epictetus, Danny, take up the call.
Going to have to come round the outside, Lanfranco, but no, happy enough. As Robbie said in the last race, not much going on, is there, at the minute? The only one with a bit of trouble, Silver Knot's going to need an out. I suppose Holloway Boy, but I'd be happy if I was on Holloway Boy or Epictetus.
They're really bunched up, Barry, as we've got around about we're at the 5 furlong marker.
Yeah, hard to separate, but Epictetus is your favourite at 7-4, 9-4 Holloway Boy, and 4 Silver Knot.
We're going to need an out, Rob.
Going to need one, aren't we?
We're going to need an out.
Well,
when they start to get a bit unbalanced going into the dip, you often find one, but it's Jim Crowley who's put the anchor down on Roger Teal. Yeah. This could be a big pointer towards Naval Power coming up. Who's going to be the one at the moment? I mean, we're just getting shaken away here, Rob.
Exoplanet Film.
Holloway Boy's got to get moving.
I'll tell you what, Epictetus looks good here. Come on, we need a gap here. Come on, Holloway. I'll tell you what, Epictetus might just be the one. But if leaders aren't coming back yet, Silver Knot now goes for a run out wide. I'll tell you what, after you.
Holloway Boy's coming now.
Holloway Boy's coming. Is he on the rail? Go on, get out, Run. Jim, you let him.
Go on, Frankie.
Go on, Frankie. Is going to do this, I think.
Go on, Frankie. Silver Knot on the outside. Silver Knot on Epictetus. Silver Knot going on. Epictetus. Frankie's got no more in the can. It looks Silver Knot. It's going to be another for Godolphin. Frankie done on the line. Silver Knot. Buick special.
I'll tell you what, you called that really early there, Danny Archer.
Yeah, I felt it.
All right, Godolphin, they farm this race, and we said that historically beforehand, Barry. They've got another one. He's bounced back. Chaldine Pointer.
Yes, very much so. And Silver Knot. Betfair SP of 5.57, so 9-2 on the Betfair Exchange. Your runner-up Epictetus traded at a low of 1.52, which is 2-1 on. Holloway Boy traded at a low of 2.94. Just didn't get any luck in running whatsoever. It's what happens there in Newmarket when they come up the stand side. Obviously, he was drawn 6, so he has to anchor him in on that rail, whereas the runner-up was drawn 1, and he had to come up the wide outside. But Silver Knot got a lovely run through with William Buick.
Yes, he did, and he pulled widest of all. William kept it simple. 2 races down, the boys in blue, loving life on Dewhurst Day at Newmarket. Flying Honours, of course, took the Zetland Stakes. If you've just joined us, he very professional there, as was Silver Knot. Had to be the softer ground there last time.
Yeah, and obviously out of God Given, so it was always going to start. I think God Given won over 14 furlongs, so stamina, abundance. This could be a terrible point from a terrible pundit, but I thought Epictetus didn't have to use the whip last time at Harley.
Point to Rob then?
No.
I was expecting the arrow to come out.
And
You're not wrong.
I don't know whether that inexperience has cost Epictetus a little bit.
Again, I thought you were going to go to Rob, but I wasn't sure. All right. Well, we're having fun here on Amazing Post Live. But Rob, we're looking at Holloway Boy now. And one jockey you don't want in front of you, as we saw in the Lancashire Oaks earlier in the season, on the rail, is Jim Crowley. He just wasn't going to give Clifford Lee the room, was he?
But then when he got it, he didn't find as much as we would have hoped, no?
I don't know. I think he's a horse that needs
About
to
7
travel
furlongs,
in.
do you reckon?
That is going to teach him a lot, Holloway Boy, and he's going to win a nice race again next year. That's
still a very good horse, isn't he? Well, I mean, we have to say that Epictetus is the best long-term prospect here.
Well, surely. Absolutely.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think just that inexperience.
And it's first time into the dip, isn't it? Of course.
They'll be very happy with finishing second and on his second start. Like, he's been off 3 months as well.
Exoplanet just didn't pick up a leg, did he? Right from the box.
No.
Just wasn't going at all. Killybeg's well beaten off.
The amount of support in the market for Exoplanet, though, I assume he's surely much better than that.
Surely.
It's only his second run.
Surely much better than that. The average winning RPR of this race is around about 111. Caribus got 116 plus last year. That went and won a Guineas. What are we thinking about Silver Knot? Robbie, you're the RPR.
Silver Knot. Yeah, I don't really handicap these sort of races, mate. But in terms of giving this, well, I mean, the fact that he was giving a £3 penalty means you're going to.
And he's on 109.
A bit. You go through the winners, Caribus.
He's hit the average, hasn't he?
King Gayath. I don't know if he's quite that sort of.
Are you
class,
going above
but
111 the race average?
Yeah. My gut feeling is 113, but
that would make him.
We'll see what happens.
That would make him trading leather, basically. An horse that's hit the
113. Yeah, it's just
to win a classic, you've got to be 115 or above. That historical RPRs say. Will they go that high? I don't know. And again, look out for the quotes. Yeah, go on, Barry. Oh, right.
Oh, sorry. Silver Knot for the Vertem. He's 10 from 16 and he's 33 from 40 for the 2,000 Guineas. He's in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. He's 7-2 from 7.
That I can see. That I think we've just seen a Breeders' Cup horse there, and because Charlie loves that meat, absolutely loves it.
Yeah, very much so. Cleaned up last year, didn't he?
Yeah, took Massar over there, didn't he?
Modern Games.
Derby winner, Modern Games. God, that was hugely controversial.
And what was the other one? Space Blues.
Space Blues. Of course, yeah, in the mine out there. Who's a Breeders' Cup fan? That is what, 5th of November? Is it?
Breeders' Cup's warming on me a bit, actually.
You like it now?
Yeah, I didn't used to like even watch it, but the last couple of years I've really enjoyed it. On a
Saturday night to get you off watching Ant and Deck is absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
Saturday night's about going out and having it large, mate.
Well, okay, fair enough. In that case, not for you. All right, let's get the social up. Let's have a look. Silver Knot. Then you can see the Betfair SP. Chris Timms, good to see you, Chris. Nice boost there for Chaldine in the Dewhurst, coming up at 3 o'clock. Yes, indeed. Could he yet go off favourite, Barry or Chaldine, in the Dewhurst?
Yeah, he could. I don't see why not. At the moment, though, Nostrum seems to be strong again at the head of the market. He's 2 on the sports book. He's 9-4, and the other one's 8-3-1. So, yeah, Nostrum is strong. Naval Par 5.376 Aesop's Fable. It's 18 bar.
Yeah, fascinating stuff coming up. So we've had the Pièce de la Résistance, have we? I'm not sure, because I think the cream of the crop might still be to come at 3 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Certainly.
Charlie, he won the first 3 races last year, didn't he? So he's going, if Naval Power could maybe give him back-to-back trebles in those races.
You know that because you've got a printed version of the Racing Post in front of
I
you.
do.
That's one of the bonuses of coming in here, of course, on Saturday.
Definitely.
You've got about 40 of them to choose from. All right, let's go to York. It looks tricky. I'm going to try and knock it out of the park here, but not before we hear from Barry Orr. And the 240, Barry, 1 mile 2 handicap. Just the 5 runners.
Just the 5. Protagonist, your favourite at 2.72. Disappointed last day in Newmarket on the Rowley Mile in the Cambridgeshire. It has to be said, when he was well fancied. Stay well, 4.8. 4.6 Marching Army. Sega is 6.4 and it's 15 bar. What's the story is a non-runner here. This is the second leg of our multi-marching army here. And we're going to back him in the win-only place, our win-only market here on the exchange, please. Obviously, he beat Ottoman Fleet and Warren Point. I thought that was really decent form last time out in a really, really competitive handicap in Newbury. They've turned him inside out with the application of the visors. And that's really been the difference to this horse. Now, he's rated 103 now from 97, so he's gone up £6 for that win. But he's currently trading at 4.8. Happy to be a price taker here at 4.8. I can't see him getting much bigger than that, really. So we'll take the 4.8 for 25 quid, please, Robbie. A backer of Marching Army.
You really like this horse,
Barry. The only thing I would say,
go on.
First day, but I was with Warren Point last day. I think Warren Point is a decent horse, and there's still more to come from him. But the only thing about this is it's a Syed bin Sarur, and I just find that sometimes his horses don't run the same time twice when I back them. You know, I've missed out on this horse in Newbury, and I'm following him now. And sometimes, you know, you can get that with trainers. I know it's just an idiosyncrasy that I have, but sometimes I just feel his horses don't run the same way twice. But I'm taking a chance here on Marching Army.
You've missed the wedding, in other words. That's what they say, isn't it? Ottoman Fleet would be the one, wasn't it? We thought was going to win that. And you're going to the funeral. That's basically what they say. So Staywell was in that race as well. It was a bit of a messy race for me, that. That's what put me off this chap. But he comes into it with 2 races having won, so he's definitely found his consistency. I wonder whether he might be one for Maidan a little bit later on. Maybe he probably still will be. I found this really tough. I thought Protagonist, it was a mess in the Cambridgeshire. He was on the far side, if you remember, and he had to do a bit too much of his own running. I think you can put a line through that. But having watched the grounds yesterday at York, I'm going to go and check the times for the first couple of races when I ask you guys for your selections, because the more it's drying, I think the rest of the field will love it. There's only one horse I could find here that liked really soft ground.
Please.
That was Algiers. And so I'm going to take a chance on the returning Simon and Ed Crisford runner. Still having a wonderful end to the season.
Good soft though. What do you think? It's nearer soft than...
I just think Saga, good to firm. Stay well. Yeah. I was expecting Stay well, because you look at these colours and you look at Huey's horses and you think, well, they'll handle it fine. Didn't like the application of a hood for that one, by the way, in a small field. That could just be lit up a little bit. And again, it's good to firm. Marching Army, synthetic and good ground. And Protagonist, I was expecting to see some soft ground form in his name. Couldn't really see it. So if it's tough old ground up there, do not be surprised if they're returning Algiers. And he is quite classy, this horse. A 106 rating there, you can see.
Protagonist got a little bit of soft ground form in Ireland when he was with Johnny Murtagh, but he's getting quite short now. I mean, he is my selection. I mean, as you point out, you don't really want to be drawn low in the Cambridgeshire, do you?
You didn't.
Second of 8 on his side. It's a pretty good run. Same mark now. Progressive before that. But yeah,
he's a weird horse, isn't he, Protagonist? Because you don't expect him to be 5 when you look at his age, when you see him as, these colours and William and Tom and all that sort of stuff. He's been around the hours, isn't he, Jesse Harrington?
Like he might have been sold on by now.
Well, that's what I mean. But obviously they've got the wins out of him, and William's done his job with him, hasn't he? Unsurprisingly. But he's an interesting horse. Are you with him?
I am, I think.
Oh, sorry, Danny.
It's all about the replays.
Sorry, Danny. Did you hear that, Barry? You were 13-8 shot in this race.
Danny would have favoured, isn't he?
But you're never going to guess it, mate.
Listen, if you watch the replays, what an absolute screamer in the
I'll tell you what, we like to add to our Racing Post Live bingo, and that is Danny Archer's one. He's going for a fav in this, unsurprisingly.
But as Robbie says, ran an absolute had to do, I think, the big thing with the Cambridge, he had to do all the donkey work.
We're only teasing Danny Archer.
So I just think he was very tough to beat. If the ground, and I don't think he looked as slow, given that Alpha Capture, the way he won that last time out for William Haggas, the last race. So yeah, I think if you look back at the race, he had to do a lot of his own work. He got a bit tired late on, but that was understandable. The trip's not going to be a problem. Marching Army's
career high rating of 97 is the thing for me. I don't think he's that high a performer.
Small field here, isn't it, for this race? Because it's one thing you don't really associate, especially on a weekend meeting at York, is a small field. Really, maybe it's a listed or Group 3 race where these Twilight horses get their chance. We see them like City York Stakes or something like that. But a handicap of this nature. I mean, can you remember who won this last year?
Can I have a clue?
Who trains it?
Sir Michael Stout.
Oh, Bay Bridge.
Correct.
Yeah.
Lifted home by Ryan Moore.
He's back.
Lifted on that day. You are back. In fact, the last 3 winners of this have all won last time out coming into the race. Who won it in 2020 for the Haggas stable? It was a start of it, or it was the middle of a real big sequence.
Oh, the thing that won the Group 1s. No. Ade?
Ilarab.
Yeah, Ilarab.
Close, Barry.
Same silk.
Ilarab.
Same colours.
So if you're going on historical ticks, you're looking at Barry's horse, because last time out winners come into this on a high. A lot of horses that might be over the top have had enough for the year, or coming back from a layoff, like, for example, Algiers, and you just stick with the horse in form. We've got one 3-year-old in the race, which is Saga. 3-year-olds have absolutely dominated this race in the last 10 years. 7 of the last 10 have been 3-year-olds.
He was the Frankie Dettori, wasn't he? The one that led to the fallout.
What a proper Saga, wasn't it?
Yeah, should have won that, shouldn't he, really?
Should he? Thesis, of course. Yeah, that was the Britannia Stakes, wasn't it?
Just like to point out, I thought we promised a Danny Archer commentary in the last race. I didn't see
Is this the one?
What,
you're giving him the easy 5-runner race at York? This is your territory.
Well, I want to see if he can. I want to see if he can cut it.
No, Frankie.
Yeah. He took it. He wrestled it off me, actually, because he thought he was going to have.
Sorry. I thought I had it.
Well, it's quite nice to be in that position to have someone to wrestle a commentary off you. That's for sure. Because it's not as easy as it looks.
I was in trouble with Betfair actually on the dogs the other night, because I called a result and the dog didn't win. So apparently, if you
really?
exchange and I'd called it wrong.
I'd rather someone took a chance and backed himself though and got it wrong. To be fair,
I mean,
someone that sat on the fence.
It's like an unwritten rule on RTV that they just cannot say.
Really?
Well, even if somebody's won a neck, they're like, "Oh, I better not." You just get the feeling because they just don't want to. It's excruciating.
People
sometimes.
get things wrong, mate. Like just.
That's why I quite like Chappers, isn't it, on the channels, because he kind of like, apparently you got it wrong in the last race.
Producer of the year.
Who used to be at RTV, by the way, as well. A little bit of false loyalty coming in there. All right, okay, great to have you out there watching. Welcome along. It's nearly Dewhurst time. Myself, Dave Orton, Danny Archer, Robbie Wilders, and the big hitter himself in Dublin, Barry Orr. A reminder, this is Barry's second leg of the Lucky 15, Marching Army. And they're back in Stay Well, aren't they, in the market to reverse that Newbury form, Barry?
They're burying the favourite, Dave. He's into sub 6 to 4 now, 2.46. Stay Well, 4.5. 5.6 Marching Army. No money for that at all. 7.8 Saga and 13 Your Horse Algiers.
He had a 1-2 in the last race, the first race of the day that we covered at York. They're expecting William Haggis on his favourite track to be cleaning up as well. Who's excited for Champions Day next week? It's just a great time to be a flat man, isn't it? Absolutely superb. This is the excitement for next year with the 2-year-olds, of course. Are we going to see the Guineas winner? All about Bailly next week, but there is a remarkable car. We'll be covering that for you.
Whoa,
but let's go back now to York, where taking the ball
Louis
by the
not
horns,
hanging around.
Louis Stewart on Barry's selection. No, worried about a lack of pace? Not a bit of it. I was hoping Algiers might get a freebie. He's in second, though. Stay Well. First time Hood. Hitman Hart got in the steering for Huey. Behind Marching Army last time. This time, Danny Archer's got about 5 lengths to make up after about 2 furlongs.
Yeah, happy enough with Marching Army out in front going well. Algiers in second, but Protagonist has settled well. Colours we should hopefully be seeing a lot of during the winter, of course, with Constitution Hill.
Oh, you had to mention it, didn't you? The
I had
C
to
word.
mention it.
It's not even Cheltenham anymore, it's Constitution Hill. But yeah, Protagonist, the well-back favourite, then sitting in the midfield. Let's have a look. I'm quite happy with Algiers, actually. Saga's a horse I was worried about being slightly lit up, but he's settled okay. Barry, they're on the far side, approaching this famous sweep for home.
Yeah, Protagonist out to 2.82, so around the 15 to 8 mark. Marching Army into 9 to 4. It's 4 to 1 Stay Well, 5.3 Stay Well. So he's getting a freebie out in front, Marching Army. We know he stays as well, so it'll be interesting to see.
Very much so, I think. Yeah, absolutely. And if you remember that race at Newbury, lots of horses went low and he just kept going to the line. And
when they came at him, he just kept finding the bit.
That's what you're hoping for now then. If you sided with Barry and the boys in blue are having some day, they've got Naval Power to come up in the Dewhurst. Danny Archer turning in.
Yeah, still going very nice out in front, Marching Army. Tom Marquand, just a little bit of a pocket behind Algiers and
favourite
Saga
now,
keeping him
Marching Army.
in. Stay Well, the one who's at the back of the field, but still in touch. They're all in touch, all 5, but Protagonist the first to come off the bridle.
Here they come, yeah. He doesn't look too happy, does he, like he's feeling that Cambridgeshire run. Here comes Stay Well, keep it to the far side, I think they are. Algiers is still there, my big hope. Doesn't look like the outsider now, does he? Will he pick him up? Saga, 3-year-olds, they dominate this race. Robert Havlin, first Group 1 winner.
Here he
finally
comes,
for Rob Havlin.
here he comes.
Okay, now Protagonist is coming.
through.
Marching Army looks cooked on the near side. Algiers is going for it though. Come on then. This is a soft ground lover. Don't you dare come and pick me up.
Go on, Tom.
I'm giving you loads of weight as well. Come on, Algiers.
Harry
Harry Burns, come on, my old
Go on,
son.
Tom.
See off Archer. I think I've
Go
got
on,
it,
Tom.
haven't I? Come on, Algiers.
Go on, Tom.
Protagonist is going low.
we're beat.
Harry Burns is going to see him. Dave Orton knocks it out of the park. The outside of the lot. Aye.
When you're booking your
Algiers
flight.
Army. Happy days of beating Danny Archer. My afternoon is made. I shall go home, Barry Orr.
Great shout, Dave. Outsider to field, like you say, 12.5 SP on Betfair. The runner-up Protagonist traded
price,
at a
mate.
low
Nice
in
price.
running of, what do you think, Danny? 1.43, so 9 to 4 on.
You hate to see
Your
it.
runner-up traded at. Marching Army traded quite low as well in running. Marching Army traded at a low of 2.5, so 6 to 4 Marching Army. But yeah, great shout, Dave. Well done.
Yes, every dog has his day, we shall say. But it was just a soft ground for me. He did travel through that lovely, didn't he? Really nice horse, that, I think. And he'll be going back to Maidan, I would imagine, in the depths of winter when we're all looking at, Exeter and the likes of that. And then along comes Maidan. You see all these great horses that you forget about on the flat going pot hunting over there. Some end to the season the Christfords have had.
Definitely. Yeah, they've had a good year. So some interesting contenders. And when are you going to book your flight to Algiers? Next on the list, surely.
Very good point. Shall we go?
Well,
You've got a stag do coming up or something like that? You're going to be the next one off the factory line, aren't you?
Not yet. Another couple of years, but I've never been. So let us know what it's like.
Oh, well,
Algiers.
let's go to Algiers, shall we? I'm not going there before your stag do. Rob, you were on Protagonist as well. I must have thought you were going to collect.
Yeah, I thought so, mate. But outstanding call from yourself, I have to say. You gave me a bit of stick yesterday, weren't you, for speaking in the third person? I'm seeing that a lot from you today as well, mate.
Oh, I'm speaking in the third person?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Keep saying, another one for Dave Orton.
Well, that's once I've said it.
He said it 3
Right,
times
so,
today. I'm
look,
counting.
I know you're bitter because on a feature show yesterday we were doing, Robbie started talking about himself in the third person. I mean,
How do you do that all the time?
it's hard enough to work with him as it is. Never mind when you start talking about, Wilders is in a bad mood.
Harry Burns was good in the winner there, Dave.
He's a very good jockey. Very, very good jockey. We see, of course, finally William Burt being crowned, of course, champion jockey next week. What about looks like Benoit's going to get it, doesn't he? Did I say it? And it's Harry Davis,
Yeah, he's just going to see off Harry Davis, I think. Yeah, after
some good apprentices out there.
After, his misgivings, he's come back very strongly, Benoit. And obviously John Gosden's given him plenty of support, so the likes of Kevin Defoe and others. He's clearly a very talented jockey now. He's clearly got his mind just on the game.
It always becomes tough when they win the Championship Apprentice, because then they stop worrying about the claim quite so much. Benoit has been managed. They wanted to get him this.
Yeah.
He's mentored by Frankie. His dad is close to Frankie. You get the feeling he will be one that gets the big support, of course. Lady's very close to him, of course, when he takes over fully from John. All that sort of stuff. The future is bright. Let's check out the socials. All right. I never thought I'd say it, but Dave Orton just saved my day. Right, absolutely. If you live in my household, Steve, you get that every weekend. Chris Timms and the Commander. Well done, Dave. Good to have you out there, boys. Let's hope you had a few quid on it. That's it, apparently, for the love out there for Dave Orton, who is talking about himself in the third person again. Right, Juddmonte benefit coming up here, Barry. You're hoping it's going to be 3 in a row for the boys in blue.
I certainly do, yeah. But Nostrum is strong favourite now, 3.15, 3.9 Chaldine, Naval Power 5.7. He's on the slide all the time. 7-8 Aesop's Fable seems steady at that, and it's 15 bar. Yeah, I like Naval Power in it, please. And I'm going to back him win only on the exchange, Robbie. He didn't quicken immediately in Haydock. He was trees on that day, but once the gaps came, he was pretty convincing winner at the finish. That was over a mile. He's dropping back to the 7 here. And I thought just at the prices, I'm happy to be a price taker here at 5.7 actually. We're going to have 25 quid win Naval Power. I suppose Nostrum is a worthy favourite, and Chaldine, he's going to try to get out and set the fractions, I would imagine. He seems to be the pace angle in the race. Isaac Shelby, not without a chance. He's 30. He's a big price as well. But Marban is into 26 now. There has been some small money for that recently, but he's a lot bigger than what he was when we first went up with this race. But yeah, it's a very, very open renewal of the Dewhurst Naval Power for William Buick.
Well, he's unbeaten, and he's bidding to do what Native Trail did for Charlie last year, not just by taking out the Dewhurst, but as Danny quite rightly said, the boys in blue won the first 3 races last year. Lightning is striking twice. History is repeating itself. Could it happen here on Naval Power? It does look slightly over the odds because the market is concentrating solely, really, on these Juddmonte odds. But I'll go to the panel, Barry. I'm looking at the market now. Isaac Shelby, pretty much what he was yesterday. He's easy enough about Marban. OK, fair enough. I can see that. Royal Scotsman looks like he's come in for some support. If he hadn't run in the Gimcrack, as Wilders called it so hilariously last week, well, I had to get that in. But again, he'd be. You can see why on sort of bearability, Barry, that Royal Scotsman's coming in for that support at big prices.
Yeah, he's almost half in price, Dave. Royal Scotsman, and I suppose, I think there's, as the outsiders, there was probably a bit of fat in that price at 33. He was that in the sports book when we first went up with the race as well. But obviously, he's that run behind Noble Style last day. He was beaten a long way. So I don't know. Cold Case was in that race as well, wasn't he? So listening to Danny, that's decent enough one.
OK, all right. Let's get the poll up on the screen then as well. And look at this. Blimey. The results are in. Who wins the 2022 Dewhurst? Nostrum, 28%. Chaldine, someone's on a laugh here, aren't they? 28%. Naval Power, 28%. Other, 14%. They cannot split the first 3 at the market. They cannot split them. Can you, Danny Archer?
You've got to respect Naval Power. Dancing Magic didn't run badly in the last race
I can see where we're going with this, Danny.
Chaldine.
I feel where we're going with this, Danny. We're starting to get this, what do they call it, when you twin with each other a little bit? There's a word for it, isn't it? But it's happening. I'm channeled in. Not chemistry, there's a word for it, isn't it?
Telepathy.
It's not telepathy, there's another one as well. I can't remember what it is, but whatever it is, it's happening to me right now. Danny Archer, who are you tipping?
Chaldine ran well last time out winning the Champagne, but I think all 3 of us, I'm not just picking myself here, all 3 of us, like Sir Michael Stats-Nostrum, 1986, I was definitely not even a glint in my mother's eye. 10 years on, I was born, but he won it with Ajdal.
Potentially the best World Cup
I'm older
year
than you.
of all time.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, 96.
Yeah.
It's an odd one for you, isn't it? Not being the baby of the crew.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, anyway, so he won it 30 years, over that with Ajdal. Hasn't won it since. I don't think he's had that many runners. And I just thought was impressive at Sandown. Already proven over course and distance. Looked to handle the dip okay as well.
Has he not won the Dewhurst since then?
No.
Really?
One and only. That's what I've just seen, just read.
That is remarkable, isn't it? I saw you Googling.
So I think that's interesting. Alone makes him interesting, but the one I did always like, and I think will be good, is Isaac Shelby.
You didn't
He won
like
the superlative. I think he's one for next year, but
What, you didn't like the 33-1 shot?
I thought it was interesting for next year, but not in this.
I quite like him actually. He's a horse that did me a big favour when he won on the July course. I mean, look, he's unbeaten. The fact they've kept him for this, they could have gone Autumn Stakes with this horse. I quite like him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run a big one. Really tough. And the money came from him on his debut barrier at Newbury, and he didn't have to do the job that day. What I like about him, and there was a bit of cut that day as well, so I think he'd be fine on the ground. And Brian Meehan, when he gets to one of these 2-year-olds, I wonder if he runs well, whether he could just be a Breeders' Cup or as well.
On a line through Victory Dance, Nostrum has the beaten of though, hasn't he?
He
does.
does.
That's the concern. Yeah.
He does. You have to. It was the Victory Dance really the horse that we saw though last time. I thought it was a bit flat in that. So yeah, but I agree absolutely. So we've got pointers everywhere. Come on, guys, get your Dewhurst fancies in. Give us the 1-2 if you like. It's Nostrum for the panel here, as Robbie tells us in tomorrow's paper what's going to win the Welsh Champion Hurdle. What are you tipping tomorrow? Let's just get this out of the way.
The Welsh Champion Hurdle?
Yeah.
Well, let's not give it away.
Come on, quickly.
Ooh.
Come on, give it away. This is what we get here. Premium
I think
content.
maybe the Irish horse Equinox Fizz, but
All right, there you go. You've heard it first.
I might change my mind, mate, because I'll do a bit of multitasking here.
You are.
Because I've been let down by some members of my team.
Don't you dare throw anyone under the bus. All right, okay. So look, let's look historically at this race while the socials are built. Only 2 horses in the last. Oh, I'd love to do this. Can't wait for Keith Melrose, the quizmaster, to come back. He will be doing so, by the way, for the jump season next month. The betting end of the Racing Post, but he loves these quizzes as well. Let's hope you do too. 2 horses in the last 10 years that have not followed up a win. You've got to have a 1 next to your name, usually historically, to win this race. 2 horses haven't. They're both now sires.
One of them, an Aidan O'Brien inmate.
He's won 5 of the last 10, so it was likely.
US Navy flag.
Sorry, what's the question,
No.
Matt? What's the question, Matt?
2 horses have won the Dewhurst without having won their last start. Who were they?
That was
2020 in the COVID year was one.
St Mark's Basilica.
Very good, Robbie Wilders.
The other
Point to
one?
Robbie Wilders. The other one in 2014.
That was
Bellardo, quite right. Air Force Blue did win it, of course. US Navy Flag did that rarest of doubles where he won the Middle Park and then went on and took this, and he got a Racing Post rating of 122 for this. Historical Racing Post ratings. Highest in the last 10 years. It's been done twice, 125 plus. US Navy Flag, Air Force Blue, sorry, the aforementioned, didn't train on, did he? Or whether he didn't train on or whatever.
Too darn hot.
Too darn hot. Wasn't he a sizzler? For the Gosden team as well. Come on then, let's get it socially. Let's see you. You've said you can't split you out there on YouTube. Well, what about you guys on Facebook and all that sort of stuff? Let us know. Okay, here we go. Social loving. Andy Sim comes back on. Nostrum, my nap. Didn't he look good last time over the course and distance? I'm with you, Andy, as is the rest of the panel. Barry going, of course, for Paul Bakewell's Naval Power is Charlie Appleby's declaration for the sole reason it's his best. And I'll have to have the save on Chaldine. Yeah, I guess a lot of people will be doing that. One more coming up. Let's have a look who we got. Tom Barras comes back on. Tom, good to see you again. I don't think Chaldine can win going from the front. Love this. Well done, gallery guys. A good way to end the socials there, because who does lead? You have to think Frankie might be the one.
I think he'd have to be Aesop's Fables is sure to be prominent. Marban needs to be held up. Royal Scotsman is also one who could go on. But yeah, I would probably say it's Chaldine and Royal Scotsman who go on, with plenty of the others just lurking in behind.
When we spoke to Andrew Balding yesterday, he said, I'm not going to tell Frankie how to ride, and because I sort of teased him. I said, look, that probably means you'll be in front then, Andrew. Because I think that is such the confidence he has in this horse. He's not that worried about the fast ground again for him. He's handled a sound surface. He's a Frankel, of course. Looking at the sires in here, is he the only Frankel? He is. Kingman, of course, being the other job. Montefido for Naval Power, Oasis Dream, Marban, Glen Eagles, Royal Scotsman. Night of Thunder, the Guineas winner, of course, on this track. Isaac Shelby, and unsurprisingly, No Nay Never, Aesop's Fables as well. So Aesop's Fables needs to be St Mark's Basilica, doesn't he? And he's the other one, like Silver Knot we saw in the Autumn Stakes, going now back on a fast track. Yeah. I thought there'd be more money for him.
I think, as Robbie said, I think he'll improve for the return to quicker ground. I think I read a stat, the No Nay Nevers, they're 26% on soft ground, but I think they're much better on quicker, despite them doing okay on with a bit of cut in the surface.
From Wes Wardhorse, wasn't he, of course?
I mean, because I always thought, I think we were on together when he won on his penultimate start, and I think we were questioning whether he would get the 7, but he saw it out really well on that occasion.
He looked quick that day, didn't he, when he beat Hans Andersen? But that was obviously, of course, over the 7 at the Curragh. But our ref, he was 8 to 13 on, wasn't he? 13 to 8 on, sorry.
Yeah.
He went from the front that day as well, which suggests that they think he's a proper star. Now he's installed 4. Who's going to get the rail here? So Royal Scotsman Jim Crowley again on the rail. So if you're in 6, Barry basically in your naval power, you're hoping that he doesn't do a Holloway boy, and that Jim, if he's going backwards at that time, and lets William have that run. I mean, William, of course, Silverknot knew when to manoeuvre, didn't he? It shows you didn't have to be on the rail as well. Nostrum, of course, in 3. Richard Kingscote taking the ride because Ryan, of course, has to sit on. So this would be a nice end to the season, wouldn't it?
That would be
nice
my big thing, Dave. If Ryan Moore, you got him in a dark room and said you have to tell me which horse you'd ride, who would he want to be on? I think that's the most, because he's got Chaldine. Anywhere, Chaldine, Nostrum, Easy Fables. Who would he ride?
Yeah, well, he's going to say Nostrum, isn't he? Of course, and he would have done a lot of the work on Nostrum. But of course, as we saw with Desert Crown, let's hope we see Desert Crown again. It is now Richard Kingscote, the lucky recipient. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It came good, didn't it, at Epsom? Oh, that seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? All right, okay, looking down, where are we? Loads of you out there at the moment approaching Dewhurst time. This is exciting, guys. Would we expect this to be the champion 2-year-old?
Looking at the standings, yeah, probably.
What, Little Big Bear?
So far. He's the only other one, isn't he? But he's not going to be seen again. So,
you've got a better 1-2-2 basically in this. So, on top on RPRs on the Race Post website is Chaldine, unsurprisingly after that Champagne Stakes, but Nostrum not far behind. I just love the way that Nostrum, even last time he was quite easy to back, and then as they approached post time, the money came for him that day, and he looked a bit green still, and then went on at Sandown. He looked like an absolute worldie, didn't he? And it's so good to see these horses keeping their form. And afterwards, it would have been easy if Sir Michael Stout with Nostrum to say, no, we're going to put him away. That's very much the Sir Michael thing. As historically you said, Dewhurst not often his race, but very keen to get him back out. 16 days later, he's managed to do so. Ooh, they'll be excited now at Freemason Lodge, that's for sure. The team, good luck to you out there. Who's easy to bat then, Barry? I keep seeing Aesop's Fables expecting him to come in. Nostrum and Chaldine still vying for it?
Yeah, Chaldine's just come into 3.7 now, having been around 4. It's 3.45 Nostrum, 5.8 Naval Power. That's close enough to what we backed him at. 7.2 Aesop's Fable. Royal Scotsman is sticking around at 16 mark. 21 Isaac Shelby now from 30 and 32 Marban. So they're all quoted there. But yeah, it's a very competitive race, Dave. It's reflected in the betting, obviously.
Don't be surprised to see Marban absolutely showing true colours again. He didn't like the ground, did he, when he went over, of course, to Leopardstown. A very sporting that was.
Correct.
The Curragh, sorry. That was even worse that day, wasn't it?
Lash rain.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Absolutely torrential, yeah.
Yeah, so he just hated it. And he as he showed at Goodwood, he's a very good horse. Chris Timms comes back on and says, Nostrum for me, impressive at the track last time, and looks like there's plenty more to come. That's all I'm going to say, Chris. Word to mother. Dettori 2 for 2 for boarding in the last 2 years. Choo-choo on the train. The hat-trick chain for Word to mother.
Wow, that's a good
and
start.
one more coming up. I'm going to check that in a sec. Saki 2001. Oh, he was a belter, wasn't he? Talking in the Arc. Which horse in the Dewhurst would you back anti-pose for the Guineas before the off today? Yeah, okay. What's the Guineas betting, Barry, at the moment? I'm going to throw you that curveball if you don't mind. 2,000 Guineas betting next year, going into this race.
The 2,000 Guineas, the last time I looked, August Rodin was bang up there. Just let me go check.
No worries.
Little Big Bear 5, Naval Power 8, Nostrum 8 as well. Noble Style 8, Alrifa and August Rodin 10 each of 2.
What about Chaldine?
He's the Derby horse, Alrifa.
Yeah, that's Joseph's
Leopardstown
winner. Yeah.
The Curragh.
The Curragh, sorry.
Won the National Stakes.
It's a toss of a coin. It was the weekend where we had it off, basically, wasn't it?
And August Rodin could potentially go to the Vertemps. So I'd imagine he's going to go there. If he was to put up a big number there, he'll shorten significantly as well for
like a Camelot
for the
sort
Derby.
of thing. Yeah, all right. What about Chaldine?
So he's a deep impact colt.
Where does Chaldine sit in the Guineas betting? Again, I think he's been underestimated because of the stable. So he's vying for favouritism here, but yet he's bigger in the anti-post market. It's a great question, that, Saki. I think I probably would be with Chaldine keeping him on side, and getting that 12-1 in, because he's going to go nearly favourite if he wins this. But Nostrum and him, we said, Nostrum now, he's now second favourite, Barry.
Yeah, Chaldean's favourite now.
Wow.
It's each of two, Dave. It's 3.85 each of two. Aesop's Fable has come in a point from 7.6 to 6.6. 5-6 Naval Power. 14 now Royal Scotsman continues to attract support. And 17 Isaac Shelby from 20 last time we spoke.
Wow. All right. Okay. It's all happening then. Late money coming in all over the place. What's the liquidity like, Barry, on the exchange, just as we wait for the last couple to go in?
Yeah, nearly £1 million matched in this so far.
That's what you'd expect, isn't it? It's one of the races of the entire season. Come on then, guys. Let's get our hats on for this one. Good luck to you out there. Let's have it, says Robbie Wilders. As they all in. Good luck. 3 o'clock. It's Dewhurst time. Group 1 time here on Race Post Live. Isaac Shelby not the best out on the wing as well. Not ideal. Look at Naval Power. William looking for... Doesn't want to get boxed in, does he, at all? Chaldean, as expected, is doing it. Interestingly, Chaldean's coming off that rail. That's giving a lead to Nostrum. Marban out the back as well. Royal Scotsman the first time over the trip. He's now giving second run to Naval Power. He's a little bit lit up, and Aesop's Fables sees them in as well. Danny Archer.
King Scoop was just waiting for Frankie to go across, and he's happy to be in the mirror. Also, you've got to say Naval Power's going well. Marban, as we alluded to before the race held up. Isaac Shelby, the one who was slow away, could cost him later on in the race, let's see.
I love everything about Nostrum, don't you? He just settles so well, Robbie.
Yeah, really nice, yeah. Aesop's Fable's got a nice posse, and Naval Power as well.
Barry, they're coming away from the rail.
Yeah. At the moment now, 3.4 Chaldean, 4.4 Nostrum. The race is only picking up now. Naval Power won't be winning.
Royal Scotsman's
Naval
running
Power's
well.
right at it. So Royal Scotsman going for the split at 2 front. But at the moment, it's
Aesop's
Chaldean.
Fables
The jump on horses, the two biggies in the market. Aesop's Fables is trying.
Come on then,
Marban's been
Richard.
given too much to do, I think.
Nostrum.
Chaldean now gets the rail. Will Nostrum be able to pick him up?
Come on,
Don't
Royal
forget, look at
Scotsman.
Royal Scotsman.
Royal
Good track
Scotsman's
record
winning
holder.
this.
This is exciting stuff. It looks like Chaldean's got it. Is the horsepower crew going to take it? Nostrum just a little bit out on the wing. Chaldean's done this. Group 1 for Frankie in the bag. The market new. Congrats. Oh!
What a run
Close
from
on the
Royal
line. Royal
Scotsman.
Scotsman showing his true colours again. Back on a sound surface. Nostrum only third. The green hat took it on the rail, Barry.
Yeah, Chaldean, he's returned 3.7. So he's returned favourite on the Betfair Exchange because Nostrum was returned 3.90. Royal Scotsman, who you flagged up as being well punted in the market, Dave, he traded low at 2.04 in running. So even money Royal Scotsman. We had Nostrum also trade relatively short at 2.60 in running. The rest of they pulled well clear the first three. The first two especially. The first three have pulled well clear. The remaining 4 runners. Just waiting the updated quote there for the 2,000 guineas.
Well, Chaldean, we said beforehand, didn't we? If you're going to back a horse, it was 12-1. It's only because of this maybe sexier stables, if you like. Andrew Balding, congratulations. We chatted to him yesterday. You could tell the pressure was on him a little bit, and he just said, I'm not going to tell Frankie what to do. We said, basically, we thought he would lead. That's a May call. In the Dewhurst, Royal Scotsman was pouncing. The hills are alive, I think, with the sounds of 2-year-olds, lads, aren't they? Because Nostrum has run particularly well there. In third, done nothing wrong whatsoever. Royal Scotsman, some people will be using him to knock that form, but in the Gimcrack last time, he didn't have his ground. He is a right horse as well to come clear of Aesop's Fable. What figure do you think he's going to be getting? 120 odd?
What would you say there, Rob? 120?
Oh, I don't know. I was just
Not up to 125, is it?
I've just been sat here googling what Chaldean is.
What's Chaldean?
It was a former country. It was absorbed by Babylon in the 6th century.
Tumbleweeds going across the screen. Well done to anyone who followed that in. Sam Hart, one of our producers, had it 10-1.
Yeah,
he said
he did.
got it
He was just in my ear saying, "I'm the anti-postman."
Oh,
now."
we're going to have a new anti-postman, are we? Take the mantle.
Step into the breach. This guy can present as well. I've always
You
said
can
that.
write a Welsh champion of hurdle preview if you want, Sam.
I'm halfway through it now, mate.
I'll tell you what, the expert eye lads out there, the National Naps competition comes to a head this time next week, and James Byrne, our Lambourne correspondent, sits third in the table. He had Royal Scotsman there. And the boys from the Expert Eye are hoping, who are leading it at the moment, are hoping to knock it out the park in the Cesarewitch coming up at 3:40, which ends the show here. We're going to York for another pearler there. The trophy coming up there. But let's just watch back this replay. He's come under pressure a little while. Isn't it interesting how they went away from the rail and then Frankie's got back on the rail? Danny Archer, how much did that inconvenience the others, do you think?
I did think that helped, though. Frankie took good fractions and, as you say, had command of the rail. And Frankie, I just think, rode a perfect race. Royal Scotsman has emerged with plenty of credit. I remember Paul Cole after the
Richmond win, said at that time in his career he thought he was the best horse they
He
had.
broke the track record that day.
So I think people knocking the form also, he might have just needed a bit of time to get, to get fully
He's
mature.
holding him at the line, though, isn't he? He never thought he was going to get caught, Geraldine.
Two disappointments, Aesop's Fables, who travelled really well, and then Naval Power's gone out like a light. Not really sure what the problem was.
No, we'll
there.
be finding an H14 for him, I think, which is an official excuse. That was just too bad to be true. He was beaten 3 furlongs out, as Barry said. I went to Barry, obviously, for a market update. You could hear the groan there. The boys in blue, it wasn't to be. Juddmonte 1-3 then, of course. Victory and Jim Hay have this. I'll tell you what, I'm really excited about that form, and it's great to see Cialdini. They let him have his debut run, see how good he was, and we've got a Group 1 there. And for the Baldings as well, and horsepower, it's all coming good, isn't it? So congratulations, Team Kingsclere. Their runner, Ranch Hand, is out of the Cesarewitch. I think there was 2 out of that last time I looked. But we must go up to York. How exciting was that? Have we seen a Guineas winner, guys? Let us know. You can have your shout there as we see the Betfair being my ear nearly comes out. Don't worry, it's going back in. Cialdini, oh yeah, he did go off favourite, didn't he? Nostrum, 6-4 yesterday. Could almost back him on the exchange at 3-1 before the off. Did they know? You have to say yes, don't you? Let's go back up to York, though, guys, because the 3:15 is not too far away. It's a massive field race. I said to Robbie, what wins the Sprint Trophy? 3:15, and he went, oh, you despise these races.
I do not like these races, mate.
No, and I said you don't have to tip, and you went, well, I might not, but you did put one up.
Well, I think
don't tell us yet. Nearly did.
Guess a minute.
Nearly did. No, but you really can't. You actually said to me a great line. Can you remember what it was?
I've said to you loads of great lines.
No, you haven't.
What
This was actually a good line from you, which shows your progressive.
What are you saying, actually? Like, that implies you're surprised.
Well, it was. I was a tad surprised. You said, I cannot wait for York sprints to end.
Oh, yeah.
And I reckon half the country are with you on that.
Well, yeah, because...
Danny's nodding.
I mean, I feel like you got like a 25-1 chance of winning regardless of the price. Basically.
They're so difficult to get the winner.
This is so
on,
hard.
And the market is suggesting that Barry in the 3:15 coming up. Now, Gulliver goes for a hat-trick in the race. He was well beaten in it last year, but old Gulliver had won the 2 previous editions. Is he heading the market as we speak?
No, he's not. Lucky Man and PJ McDonald heads to market at 9.2. 11 each of 2, Gulliver and Lethal Nymph at 12, Silver Samurai. Top Master is 13, Dakota Gold 16, 15, Admiral D, Strike Red 17, Mr. Wagoo, money for that at 13.5, Laugh a Minute, Ronan Whelan overriding that is 15.5. That's been popular. The horse I like in it is Gisborne. It's 6 places on the sports book here. Please, Robbie, and we're going to avail it. And we're going to have 25 quid each way, Gisborne. He's rated 92 now, having started the season off at 98. He's winless since landing in nursery last October.
Oh, you want the sports? You want the sports, but apologies. Yeah. Our good friend Gisborne.
He is a good friend because he always seems to run on this show.
He does.
Just ran Aylwit and Haydock last time, laid on. He traded at 6-4 on. He's some decent runs this season, particularly his second to I'm a Gambler in Goodwood over 7 furlongs. I thought that was a decent run. I'm a Gambler rated 110 now. So he's a 3-year-old, obviously.
So 25 each way, Barry?
We're going to have 25 quid each way, 6 places on the sports book here.
I've noticed I'm seeing this 30-1 price quite a lot. We didn't used to see that, did we?
What, 30-1?
Yeah.
There's a lot of prices you wouldn't be used to seeing that you see on the sports book now, like 15 to 4 and
85 to 40s.
Is there any reason why that's been coming in more the last couple of years?
Margins, just margins.
Margins, understood.
Yeah, it's more like football bets, you know.
Yeah,
like
of course.
prices.
Yeah, like 11 to 5.
Well, you've seen 30-1 more than you've seen 3-year-old winners of this race, which Gisborne is. 21 have tried in the last decade. Only 3 have placed. Barry swimming against the tide. He didn't actually. No.
Your own research.
The excellent
Is
Kevin
that a new
Morley
jumper,
did
by
not
the way,
tell me
Dave?
No, I've had this for a little while.
Is it? What's that logo there?
Never get it right. Is it Smith or is it Hill? I don't know. Is it Smith? I think
Tommy
it's Paul Smith.
That's not Tommy Hilfiger.
I don't know.
Paul Smith, you think?
I think it is. I think it might be.
House of Fraser.
Look at this. We're all wearing
Calvin
strong brands.
Ralphie. Yeah. Not doing too bad in the Alpha studio.
It's a bit nipply out there at the moment, isn't it? So only one collar though. Yes, I was going to go there actually.
The producers hate it when we don't wear collars, but guess what?
It's all good.
I'll always wear a t-shirt.
No, I don't expect to ever see you in a collar.
No, not unless I'm at a wedding.
Not unless you end up working in the Ritz, of course, which is highly likely unless you get a winner over the line today, Rob. So let's go with you. You've gone for our friends the Rhine, and you've gone for a 3-year-old as well. You'll be delighted to hear my stat.
Yeah, go on then. Guess a sub. Decent York form, decent juvenile form. You know, he's running the Commonwealth Cup. He's only been gelded recently. I like to think there's a little bit more to come, but you know, it's tentative.
He was hampered last time when they took him up to the Air Gold Cup. He's really disappointed them, I think, because I was told this is one of the. I was up there with their best 2-year-olds last year.
And he was a good 2-year-old, but he's just not really
one of those
kicked on. I mean, he's running in Commonwealth Cup trials and Commonwealth Cups, and
he's drawn in 18.
Now he's in a handicap. He's at a massive price.
I mean, you're not expecting to win this, are you?
Shane McSweeney's not a bad claimer either. I'm never.
Draw. 8 of the last 10 single figures. Is that something you figured in, Danny Archer?
It wasn't. I think the thing I liked about Lucky Man was the form at the track. First, second and a second. And no disgrace in the Air Gold Cup 4th. So my 2, if I'm allowed another dart, Potmaster as well.
Oh,
A couple of things have not gone to plan for him, but he dropped back down to a mark of 99. He was second to Rohan in the Wokingham off 98. He's coming back down to a winnable sort of mark. So
he's just the sort of horse, Potmaster. I put him up like a lot of people did in the Air Gold Cup. When the moment you jump off him, the sod's law angle will swap you in the face with a fish. And I'm not on him today, which you'll be delighted to know if you've had a 5 on him. He's drawn in 8. So historically you're in the right place, Dan, because you've got a Lucky Man who's in 6 as well. Gulliver, I see someone on the chat saying Gulliver was drawn low, a massive chance here, and you have to think, don't you? This has been his big target, the 8-year-old, the lovable 8-year-old with his great dartboard colours on.
When I first looked at the race, Dave, Dusky Lord was a warm favourite, but I don't know if that's now come out, so that's kind of changed the market a little bit. But
the Silver Cup winner.
Lethal Nymph as well comes into it with 2 wins recently, but I think I'd agree with Robbie. You know, you have that first one from kind of the Dante meeting, or even before that, these big handicaps at York, and they can be puzzles throughout. You've got, you know, Dakota Gold, who's a multiple winner at the track, Mr. Wagyu. It could all come back to form, but as you say,
loads of old boys in this, aren't there? I've gone for one actually. Last year's 3rd, Air Raid, who is a likely pace angle like that. He's got form on soft ground as well. He's back off a run, so we haven't seen him for 128 days, but hopefully Jed O'Keefe's got him in a good place. And like I say, he was beaten. Volatile Analyst won this last year, and he ran really well. He only got pipped near the finish. He will do for me. There's quite a few cliff horses in this. Stripe Red, that was painful when that one a week ago on the all-weather. I have been backing him left, right and centre. Don't be surprised if Richard Fahey takes this out with him. Admiral D, another Fahey horse who's just let me down. You know, Keeley's gone back in for this. You know what Paul Keeley's like with cliff horses. And the other one I want to mention, I'm a tad surprised to see him back here, but last couple of times he's run, we just haven't seen the best of Silver Samurai. Marco Botti and team today in the paper said we wouldn't run if it was very soft. They'll be buoyed by the drying conditions there, I think. And Daniel Muscat from stall 7. If he can latch on, nothing will be finishing better than Silver Samurai. So there you go. We've given you a range of opinions. Let's hear what you're going to go for potentially. We've got around about 3 minutes to the next. We'll have plenty of time then to talk about the Cesarovic, which is lucky because we've got a spread of runners. Lots said about the Cesarovic this week, isn't there?
I like the race, but I think it's one of the worst renewals. Always a race I've liked.
A lot of noise about that.
Why?
Being a weak says.
I think it's pretty good.
I think it's weak. I don't think there's as many. You go down the field, I think there's a few who have got in, which I'm a bit surprised at.
Oh, in terms of like low ratings.
Yeah.
That can happen in a says.
You're not saying Call My Bluff isn't a good horse, are you?
I'll let Call My Bluff off, but the likes of the Mollywood, Land of Winter, Muka Magic.
Oh, I love Call My Bluff.
Do you?
Yeah, because one of my best mates who works here, part owns them.
Which one?
Andrew Wilshire.
Oh, does he? Wilshire's got a bit in that. It's the who trains him again?
Dominic French Davis.
Is this his final year as well? Is he? I think he's retiring soon, isn't he?
Is that true?
French Davis. I
I've
think
not,
he is.
Yeah, I've not heard that from Wilsh.
Get hold of Wilsh and find that out because I think he might have to look for a new stable soon, which is it's sad, but I just think it was the sign of the times. I've got a feeling he's going to sign off soon.
We don't train that many winners.
Said out the side of his mouth. Oh, I actually had a good look at Call My Bluff. He was second,
he needs soft ground though.
Second to Radzinski in the trial.
Yeah.
He's run since.
That was a really good run.
He needs soft ground. I just wanted the handicapper sort of had him. Anyway, that will be the Cesarovic. What did you make of the race? Maybe give us your 1, 2, 3s. Will it be a Mullins horse again? We'll find out shortly. We've still got this Coral Sprint to go, of course. Let's get some social loving out there. Great to have you with us this afternoon. You make the show. And Nedster comes back on. Good to see you. Dakota Gold, each way for me, as usual. That's one of Barry's old horses, I think, isn't it? Dakota Gold absolutely loves the gaff. One of the class angles in the race, that's for sure, for Dodds and Mulrennan. Paul Mulrennan having some year, isn't he? Paul Batewell comes back. Despite the unsettling lightness of the ground, I basically called it, didn't I, Paul? Silver Samurai, Potmaster, or Lucky Manor. Lucky Man in the race for Paul, I think. Commander comes back on. Silver Samurai and Potmaster each way for me. Oh, gluttons, you lot. Hope Popmaster can pay back all those near misses. Well, like I say, you'll be buoyed by the fact that Dave Orton's not on that today. A third person reference again for you, Robbie.
So you do it a lot, mate.
Yeah,
so don't always give me stick.
The
We're always bad at each other.
The funny thing is, this Welsh Champion hurdle preview has taken so long for you to write.
I've nearly finished it. I got 10 words.
You can tell how precious you are about it. It's only 300 words you had to write. I mean, I'd do that.
I take pride in my work, mate. No, you couldn't.
Blimey. Of course I could.
Absolutely not.
The trick when you work in your department
study
is
a
to
race.
write less. It's tricky.
Write
you can
less.
write loads. It's easy to write loads.
I need to cater to the page drawers and the editors, yeah?
Yeah, and you
They
won't
want
need to read
300,
it
that's
tomorrow
what I'll
because he's
give
told you the winner on this show already, Effernock Fizz.
Oh, yes.
All
yeah,
right.
quite interesting. Should we go into good form last time out? Beat Abracadabra's Jason and Militant.
In today's paper,
Tipperary.
where we see Old Master, New Star, it wasn't Nostrum, it was, of course, Chaldine. How many previews did you do, Rob?
I did the premium Dewhurst that I got wrong.
Well, yeah, come on.
I've done the Cesarewitch, though.
That's what I wanted to hope.
Oh, yeah, this is a race I know inside out, mate.
All right, great. Well, we'll let you talk. Me and Dan
This
can
is a
go to
race
the
I'll be
Thirsty Bear.
handicapping. Actually, no, Rodders will do that one.
All right, fine. So, look, who's your cliff horses in this? Which is the one you really don't want to win? You sometimes see Keeley, don't you, on Twitter every Saturday going, oh, no, that one again. And just for annoyance, which horse will annoy me if it wins? He backs them.
Bielsa would have.
Yeah, I was going to say Bielsa, actually, yeah.
Classic. Oh, Bielsa didn't come good for him at Ayr, did it? What else? Laugh a minute for Aidan McGuinness. He's a traveller. Did he run in this race last year? I think he did, didn't he? Was he
He
second
runs in
it?
all these races. Was this the race he was second in? Oh, no, that was a 6 furlong race.
He was second
I had
in
a
this.
big old bet on last minute last year, each way bet.
He was second in this?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
He
I know,
cruised
he's
into it.
agonisingly beaten.
Yeah, he was. He is a strong traveller on the near side. Where's the pace coming from? I hear you crying out there.
If you're getting upset,
Air
looks
raid,
like
I'm
Bielsa's getting pretty upset in the stalls. So,
Is he?
On the far side, over the far side. There,
Mr. Wagyu, another great year for Mr. Wagyu, and John Quinn, Hitman Hart. He's from stall 15. So could the pace be down the middle? Lethal Nymph as well. Also probably won't be too far away. Dakota Gold. Stall 2 then, far side. You're right, Barry, absolutely. If you're on the likes of Strike Red, for example, you'll be hoping that he gives you a lead. And look, there's a couple of others. Hyperfocus, he can be up there. Again, down the middle a little bit, isn't it? Where's Gisborne in the market now, Barry, as they go in?
44 now. On the exchange, on the win-only market, Gisborne is 44. Outside of that, Gulliver, sure to go off favourite, is 8.4 now. Clear favourite. 10.5, Lucky Man. 15, Popmaster. 13.5, Admiral D comes in for support. Mr. Wagyu has been well supported as well.
You get the feeling that people are just latching onto their favourites while they can still in this flat season. Dakota Gold goes in then, the last one. Over to Danny Archer for the call.
Lucky Man, what a tune that is, by the way, by the Verve. If
Love
anyone's
it.
ever
Love
heard
it.
that. But they're all off. Looks like Lethal Nymph's going on the stand side roll. Also, Bergerac showing some good early pace. Lucky Man is prominent with Dakota Gold. Hyperfocus, though. Looks like they're going to split into two here. Hyperfocus leading on the far side, along with Lucky Man, Dakota Gold, and also Air Raid. But Bergerac setting good tempo on the stand side.
You're doing really well there,
That's
Dan.
decent, mate. Yeah.
Not too bad at all. I tell you what, Exalted Angel, I thought this would be having a return for the all-weather. That's bang up there as well. Lucky Man, he's just warming up a little bit as well. Mr. Wagyu, Rob, can you spot anything?
I can spot Guess a Sub, mate, and he's going nowhere.
Where's
Dakota
Gulliver?
Gold.
He's right out the back, Gulliver, isn't he? Oh no, he's going to repeat his race in last year, I think, isn't he? Something on the far side, Lucky Man.
Lucky Man. There's
Near
also
side
one in
all
the
of a
grey
sudden.
trying to find a bit of room that can't
Dakota
get
Gold,
through.
I tell you what.
Hyperfocus out in front.
Silver Samurai, we said nothing would be finishing better, but he's not got much luck. Danny Muscat, here he comes, the grey. Can he pick them up? He's absolutely tanking. Now Silver Samurai, is he going to cut them down? Looks like he's going to get there. Is Lucky Man, is it on the far side?
I'm not sure who that is. 20-something. It might be. I'm not sure. 20. I think it's 20. Strike Red.
Strike Red.
Strike Red.
Horrible. We said before the race. He came
Simon
good
Holt
last. He's
saying
a
that.
horse that I backed loads this. And when he won last time, I wasn't on him. He's gone and done it again. He basically broke on terms, which is the key for this horse. He's been on the go since the Guineas meeting. When I put him on, he fell out of the stalls. Barry, when did they know?
Dave, I'm just checking to see if Gisborne snuck into 6th place, and I think he may have. Would you believe?
Has.
I think he has.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey! Happy
Nice
days.
work, Bazza.
Happy days.
Injured jockey.
Just about by the skin of his teeth.
Lovely.
Yeah, so your winner, obviously, Strike Red. Rated at a high of 30. I don't think that was in running. Outside of what was second at the finish? I was watching Gisborne.
The Hyperfocus was
Hyperfocus
there
second.
all the way. Massive race he ran. Looking for Richard Fahey's record in this, you'd expect Richard to have done rather well in it. First win at the 23rd
Hyperfocus.
attempt. Hyperfocus is second, yeah.
2.32.
Richard
2.32 he
Fahey.
traded.
Again, perseverance, leading course trainer pretty much, isn't he, Richard, up there? And it's his first one at the 23rd attempt in that race. We bid farewell for the season on the Knaves Mire. Probably is, isn't it?
I won't miss those handicaps.
Thank God,
Get it out of my sight.
Oh, I love it up there. We can't wait to go back in 2023, William Derby, if you're listening.
If anyone
I
found
back at
that,
the E-ball meeting again.
if anyone found that day, fair play. Was unplaced in the race last year as well.
No,
so
well, yeah, okay, fair enough. All right, but
Probably means
like
so
I say,
little in sprints, doesn't it?
he does have a bit of a following strike, Red, because if you've been watching him, he falls out the gates and he runs on late, and you think if he'd only break, and he obviously did last time on the all weather. So, but yeah, okay, we must indeed move on. Andy Sim put it up, of course.
Fair play, Andy Sim.
Well done, Andy. Happy days. You'll be hopefully cracking some
Simple
of the
game.
good stuff, whatever that is for you out there. Right, we've got one more race to come here on Racing Post Live. How time flies when you're having fun. Just a small matter of the Cesarewicz barrier.
Yes, a horse with no name, then clear favourite, 5.4. Really strong at that, 9-2. Run for Oscar is into 6-10. Vino Victris. Scaramanga did us a favour last year. Newbury Dave is with Willie Mullins now. Is 11, 12, Baby Zeus. Gibraltar, another Willie Mullins runner, 15. It's 20, Call My Buff, and 22, Bar. I'm going to chance one here. One of Richard Hughes' Bascule, it's called. He's 4 3/4 length fifth to Radzinski in the Cesarewicz trial over course and distance back in September. They dropped him a pound for that. He's rated 89. I agree with Danny. I think this is a pretty poor renewal of the race. Thought he stayed on well there despite changing his legs and not really handling the dip. So it's a big plus that he's had a sider of the track. He wouldn't want any rain, which thankfully hasn't materialised. It's his first time in cheap pieces. He's out of New River with that Richard Hughes' father used to train, Desi Hughes. So this horse will stay all day. And I thought it was a really, really decent try at the trip last day. He's a massive price on the exchange. It's 6 places on the sportsbook, and I was going to back him on the sportsbook, but I think what we're going to do, we're going to have 25 quid win at 60 on the exchange. Then we're going to look in the 6th place market as well and see what he's currently trading at there, please, Robbie.
Absolute more. Oh no, I'm still on the sports book. Let's go on the exchange, shall we? Yeah. Sorry, mate. Because the instructions I was given by the producers was this was a sport.
That's all right, Rob. You don't have to show everyone behind the Wizard's curtain. We can just toggle over to the exchange.
The Wizard's curtain. Right. Where is our friend?
So Bascule, we're
yep.
going to have 25 quid win at 60. Happen to be a price
wow.
taker, and then
That'll
the
do it.
6th place. And then in the 6th place market,
Oh, yes.
he's currently trading at 5.7, 5.8 around that. We're going to have 25 quid win there as well.
Mustard. And we have liftoff. Partly matched, but it'll get there.
There you go. All right.
Yeah,
So
thanks, Rob.
Calling the
cheers,
wind,
Barry.
is it that places usually in these big races and did last year for Richard Hughes? He's got another one, Prince Imperial, isn't he? Richard's in staying races is often a man to follow. So Bascule it is for Barry. You've got Gisburn. The each-way money was landed at a whopper in the final race at York of the day. Can he do it again, the great man from Dublin? We will find out. I've just been delivered a hammer blow. Blackpool 1, Watford 0. I mean, it could be that we have another manager in the morning.
Never trust that team.
Oh, goodness, honestly. All right, okay, let's get some promos up for you. Where are we going with this? Hey, here it is. Yes, that best Racing Post app just got even better. Exclusive content from the biggest names. Daily tips. There he is, Keels, on the show from our all-star tipping lineup. All you've got to do is go down to the app store itself. It's free. You can get it out there. It's new. Loads of noise about that. You know, when it came out, the app, people of a sensitive disposition should stay off Twitter anyway, but we were told, might not want to go on there for a week. People think they own our brand, you see, Rob. That's the thing, isn't it? We once changed the font, and I remember the news desk, and Tom Kerr used to work on that news. I spoke to him yesterday, and he was like, when we changed the font, just before we changed the website, I couldn't get off the phone. People screaming at me
People
on the phone.
take a while. Yeah, people don't really like change, mate, as a rule of thumb.
But this app, trust me,
Listen
it
up,
is
when you
gonna
start
be
using this app,
the dogs.
you're going to click with it, because I've clicked with it big time now.
I have.
All right? So get downloading ASAP.
You can see why they like him here at the Post, can't you? All right. So there was a QR code as well. Look, here you go. Just put your phone up there.
Have a
and do it
write-off
like
scan
that.
up on that. You'll be laughing. Because
All right.
this app gives you features that the old app just simply didn't.
Such as?
Like what, Rob?
It shows all the tipping. It just shows all the content. You can access premium stuff. Understand that replays are going to be on there soon. Analysis.
Yeah.
It's when it's all ready. This is it, mate. This is This is life changing.
And the most important thing is, the reason why we think it's probably the biggest innovation, certainly in the last 10 years at the Post, is we're going to be able to add so much stuff to this. We've got stuff coming on this show as well next year that we're happy about. Yeah. James Pyman's been very busy working in the background. You get all sorts of pace maps. You're going to get going indicators.
This is the tip of the iceberg, and we're having a big celebration next Wednesday, aren't we?
Well, you are. I'm going.
I'm actually on annual leave. I don't know if I'm going to show up.
You are a 101 to turn up at that party.
It's probably going to happen, isn't it? And I'll probably be pre-drinking beforehand.
Absolutely. All right. So, yeah, quite right. We're happy about it. Get with the programme. It's going to be added to all throughout the winter. For the jump seat, it's going to be absolutely unmissable. There you go. Right, one more race to go. Let's get the market back up then. As I turn off the football scores and hide my head under the sand.
Someone did say, though, in the group, Patson Daka to score first on the comments. And
really?
he has scored first for Leicester. Someone on the Racing Post line.
Did he say that after it happened, though?
No, he said it right at the start of the show, so fair play to him.
Oh, OK. So we had someone put up on the... All right, OK, happy days.
Man City have scored a goal, and it's not Haaland as well.
And it was only after 20 minutes. Poor old Southampton. So Andrew Balding's team, that is Southampton.
Yeah, Saints fan.
Group 1 success. He's probably hiding behind the sofa, isn't he, playing Man City away. Right, Danny Archer, what are you tipping?
Going Gone at a big price for me. For the Boyle.
You fickle individual, Dan. When he came in at the top of the show, he said, I like the Balding, the Boyle horse, he said to me. But I don't know, I'm not sure. I think a horse of no name will win it. But in change, the guys with the graphics are now like, sorry.
No. Horse of no name is the main one, but Going Gone at a bigger price for Jim Boyle. Jim Boyle, of course, my local trainer, I guess, Epsom. We could do with a big winner. We haven't had one since Harbour Law.
Well, this horse has been flying the flag, hasn't he?
But he won well last night in the Portland.
I still think
he's still capable of more improvement over this trip. But a horse of no name, I've always been a fan. Very impressive when York last them out. She only ever does enough, and I like the way she quick and clear last them out. She'll stay. Buzz won the race last year for Hendo. Mullins' team is probably, if I was being his worst in the last, he won it 18, 19, 20. I think Scaramanga, I don't understand why that's shortest of the three.
I'm going to play that back to you in 10 minutes when he's got the trifecta up.
But Baby Zeus, I know you two are keen on, will probably be the one I'd be most worried about. And you can't knock a valuation given he's done well in the Sunday series.
Correct, and he's out of estimate, isn't he? So the Gold Cup winner for Her Majesty.
But I don't fancy the Charles Bernstein.
Oh, you don't run for Oscar?
No.
Tell me why. Tell me sweet little why.
Won well last time out at Haydock, but I didn't think has achieved as much as some of these. Listen, could be absolutely well handicap and bolts in, but I thought at the prices, that was the one worth taking on towards the top of the market.
That was on the Sunday series, wasn't it, that Charles Burns came on and it right off, of course, up at Haydock. And again, Barry, let's just talk about this Charles Burns runner. They put David Egan, so they obviously mean business, but has the market been a bit sensitive to the Burns factor?
Well, it always is, isn't it? When he brings one over to the UK, it's always kind of overbet and underpriced. So I think this is one of those as well. Now, they've laid him out for this race. There's no doubt about that. They thought, I think he won in Haydock off 82. And I was touch and go whether that would get him into this race. So they went to Haydock. He obviously duly obliged. He was 11 to 10 favourite that day. He was relatively short, but he danced in. He won 4 lengths. Form of the race not up to much, but they had just his rating on their mind there, and that's what they needed to do, and it was a mission accomplished there. So obviously he's in this off 90. Yeah, David Egan in the plate 92. He's been well found in the market. There's no fat in that price at all for me.
But that's what's interesting. Barry says they were worried about getting him in off 90. Well, he's gone in easily now. There's a couple rated 82, 83 in it. So
there's an 81 in it.
It shows quite what a weak race it is.
But I would wager this is the one race of the year that surprises you when you're looking at horses that might get in. You see the trial, which is always on a day that we don't cover. But obviously, Rajinsky won.
It's always on Saturday, but it's never on telly.
It's always on Saturday, but
on telly.
It used to be on telly when Big Easy won. I think he was beaten in it, Big Easy, and went on to win the Says. You can get beaten in it. Of course, Call My Bluff is trying to do that. Yeah, go on, Barry.
I just think the other thing, Dave, usually there's 30-odd runners in this.
Where are they?
A massive field.
Yeah.
Like many actually go to post this time round. 20 what?
Could the Irish equivalent have had something to do with that, do you think? Being such a big pot of prize?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It kept a lot of the Irish runners away from it anyway. Yeah. But I suppose as well that the staying horses in the UK, just not enough of them to go around now, is there?
Probably not. You thought I don't know.
21 runners usually. What's the average for this race?
Next year? Well, it's
usually 30-odd.
It's a 34 max.
Yeah.
So
here's in the last 5 runnings: 32, 34, 30, 33, 34, 33, 34, 33. It's always around that. It's 21 runners this time round.
It's not just the sprinters then, is it? With these consolation races, you see, we are. Yeah, absolutely. We could have fit another 13 horses in here. We've got a couple of non-runners, obviously, but it is down on numbers. The Irish equivalent was worth a lot more. So I don't know, Newmarket, if you're listening, come on, we're bouncing back. You might want to just increase your prize money a little bit, I think. So
tell you what, bit of money for Call My Bluff. Goodness me.
Is there? Is Wilsh there
Stars
today?
could be, oh yes.
Of course he is.
He'll be there.
Of course he is. One of our stars here at the race. He plays Luke Morris on, of course. I bet he's excited about that, isn't he? Do you reckon he's going in for a self as we speak?
Do you not have to say,
mate.
Go on.
arc-winning jockey?
Arc-winning jockey, I suppose you do, yeah.
What a coup. I couldn't believe he was at Wolverhampton the night after.
Oh, yeah, that's him.
Come on.
Do you know he's nearly
Had a
ridden
day off,
2,000 winners, isn't he? So he's up there in an elite group.
Yeah, wow.
There's a lot of people talk about Luke. don't
Wouldn't
they,
you
because
have
of
the
his
day
action.
off after that?
I'm going to be honest, and we said, didn't we, before doing our preview shows and this show last, I wanted to know if he'd even had a run in the Arc. And he'd won the Abbey
twice.
a couple of times. Twice. One was Shanti and Marsha, and the other one, Clive
Former
Cox, was
time.
Gilt Edge
Gilt Edge Girl.
Bosh.
Former time, but yeah.
But the fact that we were even Googling to see if he'd had a runner in it or going on Race Interactive as we don't get our stats, it was a bit poor of us probably, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, it's quite hard thing to
It was an
remember.
armchair ride, wasn't it? He had to be
Yeah.
strong towards the
Although,
end, but he couldn't have gone better into the home straight.
Swap the draws with Torquato Tasso, he'd win, wouldn't he?
I'm not sure about that because Torquato Tasso was off the bridle after about 2 furlongs. Would he have held a position on the inside? I question you. Shame that he's not around next year, isn't it? Because he's been brilliant.
Yeah, he has, yeah. Is he going to get a lot of good mares to
Of course
get
he
hold
is.
of, you reckon?
He's going to prop up the German breeding industry, I think, now.
reckon?
Absolutely,
That'd
yeah.
be good to see,
In
wouldn't
a place like the likes of Monson, you know, those older flugs.
Adlerflug.
Adlerflug. The D
Alderflug.
before the L.
Is it? Like Epitactus?
See, I'm always here. I might not pick many winners on these shows, mate. I always certainly get the pronunciation
Here to help
right.
us make sense of pronunciations. Who knew? Pronunciations, of course, which I always get pulled up for. Right, a horse with no name. I was at York when this mare won, and the fact we've not seen it since would suggest. I mean, they've obviously. Was it Buzz that that was a long layoff that he nearly came back off, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah. Very similar
This is the
preparation.
Buzz.
Very similar preparation.
The Buzz horse. Good to see Buzz. Seen a bit of.
Is
Jeff
Buzz coming back
Stafford's-
next season?
He is, I think. Yeah, that's
Twitter
the
account
hope.
suggests he's coming back. He's back in pre-training,
good,
isn't he?
yeah.
Which is great to see. But of course, he was second last year. Was he second? No, he won it.
They
of
won
course,
it,
didn't
won
he?
it.
Beat Burning,
Under Will Buick.
Burning Victory.
Burning
Who's
Victory, of
obviously
course.
a very smart jumper as well.
But obviously, horse with her name second at Cheltenham Festival as well, 50-1.
In the mares.
So,
0 from 6 over hurdles. She will be a well-handicapped mare.
Absolutely.
They're
Yeah.
not going to go down the
used to be a
novice
Brian
route, I
Ellison.
imagine again. They can. But the fact that she's a very good mare, isn't she?
Yeah, obviously put away
Ryan
for
must
this
have got
race.
off, we wagered, didn't we, yesterday, and said,
Yeah.
put this away for the Says. Or just, I'll ride this if you want to be in the Says, Nicky. Because there was gambled on. It was the last race of the day. I was with Rodders and Briley. We were just coming out. Mike Catmull was calling and he had to run back up. I remember it vividly. And we were trying to get a cab. But quite a few people had backed us and you could hear the cheering as she went past the furlong marker up there. You know, it's one of the best
times.
courses up there for race goers, isn't it? And showing their feelings. I absolutely love it, the Yorkshiremen up there. And ladies, of course. And she has been put away for this. I don't think any of us thought she'd be going this short, though, did we? Or is it a sign that that the race is paper thin? Rob, again, we're agreeing.
Sorry?
Again, we're agreeing. We've had a second with Holloway. We've had a
Baby's
third
Use.
with Nostrum, and we're both on Baby's Use,
Going to go on one better, aren't we? Surely.
which William is on.
Yeah, good booking. I just love Mullins in these kind of races, to be honest. I mean, his record speaks for itself, innit? 3 wins the last 5 years, 2 seconds, 1/3. The amount of horses he could have fired at this, he's come down on 3. I think they're all interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a forecast, to be honest. I think the bloke's that good.
Mullins.
Yeah, he's just,
of course he is.
He's just amazing in these kind of races. Baby's Use got the breeding for sure. Brother to Lagos to Vegas, who found loads of improvement, stepped up to a marathon trip. He's not run over further than 1 mile 5 before, but that could bring out something extra.
No, I agree. I thought it hasn't been over extreme trip lies, but the fact that Willie's coming over with this one suggests that
It's just a Mullins factor, isn't it? Like Gibraltar, like all of a
Safi
sudden
Osborne on for that.
improved from nowhere. You'd also
Big
give
moment for Safi, this.
You'd also give a chance to Scaramanga on the. Like normally, first start for a stable after leading Paul Nicholls, you give that horse no chance. But because it's Mullins, you certainly do.
All right, so Jason Watson, of course, has won 2 of these for Mullins, and of course in these colours as well, Great White Shark, the Malcolm Denmark colours. So will this go to a hurdler, as is often the case? It's usually a jumps trainer that takes this out, isn't it? The market's suggesting that will be the case as well. Right, let's get another promo out for you. Promo-tastic we're going, because the jumpers are coming back out. And yes, it's that time again. It's free put-out time. How good was it last year? Going to be even better this time around. Monday, October the 17th, the big jump-off returns. We'll be giving you some video features for that as well. Paul Keeley and Tom Siegel joining myself in the studio. We'll be seeing Dave Jennings as well, and some contributors as well, like yourselves. I hope you're going to send.
Did I just hear that correctly? Tom Siegel's coming into the studio.
Oh yes.
I don't believe it. What day is that?
It will be on Monday the 17th. Clear.
Oh, I'm on annual leave.
Clear the traffic.
Do you know me and Tom never met in person?
There's probably a reason for that.
Well, it's because the geezer doesn't like leaving his house.
Probably a good reason for that. Or he doesn't like Robbie Wilder's.
Nah, he loves me.
But listen,
I don't love him, though.
Everything's in there. It's free in the Racing Post, Monday the 17th. Tom Park, our dear friend, 72 pages of unbeatable content. Anti-post tips, great columnists, divisional analysis from yours truly. Have you got a division?
Yeah, I've contributed quite a lot to this, actually, unfortunately.
Come on, we're trying to sell it.
2 mile hurdlers, 3 mile hurdlers, novice hurdlers.
Oh, you do? Is that what you've done?
I missed the hurdle.
Well, you should be in our, because of course you're.
I'm not going to give away.
I'm doing the 2 mile. I'm doing the intermediate chase.
Parky told
division.
me that. He said he did a good job on that last year.
Well, I tipped Allaho at 7-2, but
nice.
It was kind of.
It's a good price.
It's a tricky division.
Any price about Allaho that's bigger than even money is pretty good, I think.
I was 7-2, and I kind of apologised about tipping it, but I was like, it's his to lose, because what you get in the intermediate division, which should we call it the Ryanair division? What we call it is that, because you don't know when they're going to step up. Now, on his last run at Punchestown, when he beat Clandezobo's Census, you're thinking, well, they've got gold couples, but who have they got in the Gold Cup, Cheevy Park? Plutarch, so all being well, and you're not going. And Mullins has got Galloping as well, so you have to think that Allaho is going back for Ryanair.
King George, though, on the cards.
And is there anything that can step up?
King George potentially on the cards, though.
Well, he might do, but we say that every year, don't we? And I always feel sorry for King George.
Yeah, but
he always cuts up.
No, but chiefly Plutarch can't go right-handed, so he'll go for the Savills. It makes no sense. I think Allaho will run in the King George.
Are you punting that out?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I think he will. Just think
about
Plutarch only goes left-handed. I mean, there's not a massive amount of options. Well, I suppose Allaho, he could probably go John Durkin, and there's nice 3 weeks to.
He did that last year, didn't he?
Cheevy Park are going to want to have winners in the big British races as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's changing in the calendar, the John Durkin, isn't it? Though at some point.
They've made a big weekend of it. Is that
not
right,
this
Barry?
year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah, but not this year.
Okay.
Next year. So it will be the Sunday clash. You remember that clash that we had with the Peterborough? Has the Peterborough moved now? Something tells me it has. They've got.
Is it?
I know that Aintree have taken a Boxing Day meeting, haven't they? Off hunting.
They have. Yes, they have. Yeah.
We're going to see Aintree this year on Boxing Day. Listen to all this jump.
Yeah, I mean, they can keep swapping around, mate, but let's have a few less.
All right. Okay. So there we are. A little bit of digressing, but the big jump off back with you on Monday the 17th. Cannot wait for that. Let's get some tips in if we can for the Cesarewitch. You've heard from us all. Let's give us a reminder. Barry trying to knock it out the park with Baskill, first-time cheek pieces. What a win that would be for George Rook, which he'd used, hit the crossbar in this race before. Barry just had a massive each-way play land. The place odds up at York. It's a horse with no name, coupled with
Going Gone.
And it is Baby Zeus. If you had to have a save, would it be Wilshire's horse?
Maybe out of sentimentality. I mean,
do you do that?
I want one of the Mullins free to win, but if not, then Bluffy.
I'm surprised by how easy to back evaluation's been, Barry, for Keith Dalgleish. I thought that one was going to be a lot shorter. Out of estimate, should stay all day. Really progressive horse.
Yeah, he was as low as 13, as high as 27, Dave. He's into 21 now. So there has been some money for him. Some money for Inchicore as well. Richard Kingscott in the plate there. It's an interesting one. He's been backed at a high of 40.
For King.
He's into 30 now for Alan King, yeah.
Yeah. Are we going to see Trushan next week? Or is that... everyone tells me he's going to be...
Are we really going to have that conversation?
He's favourite for the race.
Rain?
Are we
not rain?
Oh, no, not again. Thank God Rodway's not here. There is a bit of rain, but I know it's a bit of a boring conversation. Surely they've just got to let him run on this sort of ground, haven't they?
Yeah, got to. And his favourite, Kyprios, I doubt is going to run.
I was away when he ran at Donny. I think I was away. And was it Donny? It was, wasn't it? Oh, it was York, sorry. No, where did he run?
Donny.
It was Doncaster Cup, wasn't it? And everyone's telling me he's going to put it away because he's not... I thought, what? You got the Cadran, you got, Kyprios was marvellous last weekend as well, wasn't he? A word for that?
Just.
A word for that?
Sensational.
Kyprios is good, wasn't he?
Did you see someone on Twitter said when you think Christoph Soumion's coming on your outside? Kyprios says no, thank you.
Nice angle.
I mean, he showed his quirks there that day, didn't he? But what a performance that was. He absolutely...
Yeah, me and Rod was chatting yesterday. He still thinks that next quick form can do it next season.
Gotta love him, haven't you? You've gotta love him, haven't you? Quickthorn just hated the ground. They said, didn't they, a little bit over the top. He's a great season, Quickthorn. Quickthorn was the horse, the famous horse that got the voodoo hoodoo off Rob Way's back. That Rod Ascot a couple of years ago. Rod has hadn't tipped a winner since the Stayers Hurdle going on this show going into Royal Ascot, and Quickthorn got him back. It was the final race of the day. Never seen the man happier in the pub. Ever. Graham Rodwell will be back on this show shortly as well. You'll be pleased to hear. All right then, final race time. We've had 3 tips coming up now. I'm hearing in my head. Let's get some love out there. Paul Bakewell comes back on. Paul, absolutely cooking out there. Tasty. The Cesarowitz. Gibraltar is my main fancy. Hat-trick chasing with Safi Osborne chosen. Favourite Moon with Hold. Oh, we have to mention him, don't we? And I suppose Run for Oscar could be the dangers. Barry, let's come to you for 2 of those. With Hold. This would be an egg-on-face horse for you because you've given the old boy a chance on this show recently.
Well, I backed him in Goodwood there a while back. You know, with that race he had won the previous year, he ran well in. But no, I think he's just past it now for me. He's a 9-year-old. I think rated 98 now. He was as high as 107 at some stage in his career, but not for me. Couldn't have him.
And of course, when he won this race, going back,
punted off the board.
It was
he was absolutely demolished.
Humongous
back in 2017.
Yeah.
He finished up 5-1 favourite. He was 12-1 on the morning of the race. You don't see that anymore,
87.
especially not with the 48-hour decks.
Yeah. And it was such an attacking ride, led a mile out and came stand side, I remember, and absolutely hosed up. Beat Lagos to Vegas was in third that day as well. That's when Mullins realised he could win all of these. Okay, so Paul, good luck with that. Favourite Moon as well is a bit of a punt, isn't it? And I'm looking for him now. Is he extremely easy to back? I mean, friendless now, Barry, having looked like he might be threatening the market leaders at one point, Favourite Moon, for the Durkins.
Yeah, he's 90 now, isn't he? So on the exchange, his graph's just gone one way and it's drifting out. He was as low as 20, but absolutely friendless, the top weight.
He used to be William Haggis, of course. He liked soft ground.
That's right.
We saw him winning on Haydock, I remember, in September when he beat a horse called Midroy, hosed up that day. He beat Subjectivist, of course, at Haydock back in the day. So look, if you're looking at back class, it's there. He was a horse that went down under as well, I seem to remember, with a Dave, and stayed down there for a little bit, actually. And then came back up, and he's gone to the Durkins now, who are, we associate with Midlands Nationals, basically, don't we? And I imagine this chap will be
Anna
going back
Love's
over.
daughter.
Yes, that's it. Anna
That was
Love's
their
daughter.
great horse.
Brilliant.
And their son
The mare.
was the man that found Isterbrek.
Of course.
John Durkin.
John Durkin, yeah. Great story, that. Darren Walker, a bit of love for Gibraltar out there as well. Off a low weight. In Mullins, we trust Darren. Good to see you back. And Maddie D comes back on. Says, hi, guys. Hope you're all winning. Yeah, we're doing all right, actually, today. Thanks, Maddie. Only here for one bet today. Oh, I'm glad to see this. Evaluation each way. One more I'm hearing coming back in. You're ploughing them in out there. It's been a great show today. Dylan, welcome along, old boy. The one guarantee of this race is that it goes off late.
It's
we're already 2 minutes.
Late, yeah.
Thank God Kate Tracy's not in. She'll be back next week, by the way, with James Millman for Champions Day.
I've seen her in ages.
Barry, are you going to the track next week?
Yeah, I'll be in Ascot next week. Yeah, you've got Mark Horosky coming into the studio.
The drone pilot coming back in. We love a bit of Horoscus.
Yeah, I've only met that geezer once, actually.
He's a character and he's brilliant.
Yeah, he seemed all right, yeah.
We like him a lot. Yeah, and we can't wait. He's an able deputy for Barry and he loves to go for a biggie. He calls him the gaffer when he speaks to me.
Was it?
The gaffer's given me a few dates, Dave, he says. Anyway, Horosky will be back. It's great to have Mark in the studio. So all in the studio for Champions Day next week. We might still try and get a tip off you that day, Barry, if you don't mind, when you're at the track.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'm happy to call in.
Brilliant. There you go. You heard it first. We'd love to do that. We need to do that a little bit more. We're planning to do it as the jump season comes back. Get our men on the ground because we have more time really to talk about these things. A bit of an early start, isn't it? Who's been watching Chepstow today? What have we missed? What one? The Silver Trophy's still to go, isn't it? We thought we found one in that, Rob, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, mate.
We're going to lord it,
Just
aren't
a bit.
We'll be in the Thirsty Bear watching it, Barry, and we're hoping to lord it with Lord Baddesley for a trainer that can do no wrong at the moment. Chris Gordon out there. Is that a popular race? It's Nappers, isn't it? Heading the market for that on the exchange.
Yeah, Napper Shield's heading it at the moment, but yeah, Nichols just had a winner there. Flick Voyou.
Oh,
Of
yes.
Voyou.
Yeah, Flick on Voyou.
Yeah, that's just one there. So his horses have ran well at that meeting. Funny enough, he obviously the one that we talked about earlier, Sonny Jano, won yesterday, but he two trade at sub 10s on and got chinned. So I think the horses are in good form.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, it was this meeting last year where he absolutely got off to a flyer, wasn't it? Fabulous was supposed to make his chasing debut, but I suppose
Pulled him out because of the ground.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do. They wanted to get McFabulous over fences 2 years ago, but he's had his problems, so he kept hurdling. This is his year. Whether it will be a novice at Cheltenham, we'll find out. But who's going to be?
Here we go.
The king or the queen in this year's Cesarewitch? Okay, 21 only, but still a difficult call for our man Archer.
Bascule, Barry's tip, has got out very, very nicely. A horse with no name also towards the midfield. Zoffi, though, is on the wide outside with Scaramanga as well, also prominent. Vino Victrix, Inchicore, and also showing a bit of early zip is Author's Dream. But now three more have come over. Withhold, and also looks like Mollywood. So Mollywood, your early lead, along with Barry's pick, Bascule. Scaramanga on the roll. Bit keen, Scaramanga.
Jason Watson then. We're right out the back, aren't we?
Bit keen.
Are we out the back?
Bascule is pulling the arms out.
By the rail, mate.
Where are we?
By the rail, midfield.
Are you sure? That's a Gigginstown, wasn't it?
Actually, is that Vino Victrix?
That's Vino Victrix. Baby Zeus is live.
This is why he doesn't commentate.
Very similar silks, though.
We are actually last, Rob.
Yeah,
Going Gone, interesting. One of Danny Archer's tips. He's pulling a little bit because he usually likes to get on with it a bit more. Safi Osborne been told to hold up Gibraltar. So the ones with stamina reservations, they are being ridden for that run. Oh, there he is, the 2017 winner. Withhold right in second. What's leading now, Dan?
That is Mollywood for Dylan Cooner, but the Jolly's last. Baby Zeus, and also right on the inside, it's Run for Oscar. So two of the market principles right towards the back. Ryan Moore's got a horse with no name settled in about fifth. Also prominent is, as we said, Bascule Withhold, and that is Call My Bluff.
She's a tad fresh, I think, a horse with no name. You can tell she's not run for a little while. Hang on a minute, what's this in the
Not So Sleepy
colours?
is also coming out now.
Trying to be
Not So
even in the
Sleepy.
race.
I think they want to get on with it.
He's going to take it up soon. Not So Sleepy, isn't he?
It's amazing that they managed to settle him. I mean, it took a man like Adam Kirby to settle him for as long as he did. But I'm not happy with the pace, says Curbs. On we go. We know he can do this, Rob.
He can do, can't he? I'm very happy about Call My Bluff's position as well, mate. I don't think you want to be too far back at the moment.
He's got a lovely position. You're absolutely right as we approach the massive straight.
Going over the stand side, Not So Sleepy.
This is what Withhold did under Sylvester de Souza, a mile out with 9 furlongs out then in the 2022 Cesarewitch. Baby Zeus sees them in, Danny Archer.
He's got a lot of running to do, Baby Zeus. Also Run for Oscar's a long way back as well, but it's still Withhold on the far side rail and towards the stand side, Not So Sleepy. Mollywood in third, Call My Bluff fourth, Bascule also prominent, a horse with no name, Scaramanga. Prince Imperial, interesting for Richard Hughes, also starting to pace up, along with Going Gone, and on the inside you've also got the likes of Favourite Moon, but Baby Zeus and Run for Oscar at the back.
The cavalry are mounting then, Barry. What's the market saying?
Yeah, 5.2, a horse with no name. They're not panicking about that yet. Scaramanga at the 9.4. Call My Bluff is 12.
Interesting. Part owned by Racing Post Andrew Wilshire. Can this possibly happen? Land of Winter on the outside, coming with a little bit of a run as well. Now, all of a sudden, if you're on the front runners, you're starting to worry. This is where the cavalry are coming, as I said. Rob, how are we doing? Are we still right out the back on Baby Zeus? Evaluations
I'm not looking
there
a
as well.
bit. Yeah, he's moving up.
We're cruising, Robbie.
Kind of eye-catchingly, yeah.
Gibraltar needs an out on the rail for Safi Osborne, but a horse with no name is tanking under Moore.
I'm very, very excited if he can get a run, William Buick.
Yeah, he's moving very well, mate.
Who's not really loving life at the moment.
I think we're going to win this, mate.
A horse with no name, though, is Pounce. Zoffy's there as well.
Going Gone. Up you go,
Going Gone is coming as well. Evaluation actually is not done with loads
Vino
of horses
Victrix
here.
under Stessayette can't get a gap by the rail with Call My Bluff. Those two go
yes,
on.
it's been held in, but it's Not So Sleepy, still leading then. Here comes
Scaramanga.
Run for Oscar. Oh my Lord,
my
Charles
word.
Burns. He's plotted this one up, I think, successfully. Barry said the market always overreacts, but this time this one has absolutely gone clear. This is absolutely... We're looking at Solwit here or something. The 7-year-old's gone absolutely clear. Game over, 101. Not So Sleepy has run an absolute blinder for the Morrisons. Vino Victrix didn't get the run. Wouldn't have beaten that runner, though.
Whoa.
My goodness me. Gamble landed, Barry Orr.
Yeah, for sure. Betfair SP of 6.19. A horse with no name was returned your favourite on the Betfair Exchange at 5.9, but Run for Oscar and David Egan for that man, Charles Burns. Absolute mustard. Vino Victrix, your runner-up with Benoit Sayed Trade at a low of 10 in running. That had an Betfair SP of 14. Yeah, I'm not so sleepy. What a funny ride he got for a horse that wants to get out in front. Well, who usually tries to make all. He held him up for the first 4 furlongs and then kind of took off with him. He's ran on well to finish third, and he'll be in all those top Earl races, I'm sure, this season, over 2 miles.
More than a whiff of the jump season coming back, and guess what? The prize has gone to Ireland. Quelle surprise, you'll all be saying out there. And it went the way of history. We often see, don't we, these dual-purpose horses doing it. Charles Burns has now got it, and that was absolutely David Egan. Could he be having a better end to this flat season?
Yeah, that was an absolute hose-up. No, backed up that Haydock win very, very well. You know, we thought it was worth taking on, but Charles Burns, the master of some of these gambles, has done it again. So, no, fair play to Connections.
And they probably looked at the race. If you're looking like a lot of social media, and Danny Archer and Barry out there, the thing is, you know, there's only 21 runners this year, only 21 runners, and absolutely hats off. Robbie, thank you for your work today, old boy.
Cheers for having me, mate.
You've been pressing the buttons very well. What wins the Welsh Champion Hurdle?
Equinox Fizz.
Okay, you heard it here first. Press the play button on that one. Danny Archer, hit the target as usual. Lovely to see you, Arch. Always is.
Good to see you as well, Dave. No, good stuff with you,
See you
Robbie.
back some jumping action soon, old bean.
Definitely, fingers crossed.
Happy days. Barry, really enjoyed today's show. Enjoy Ascot next week. I know he didn't go to the Arc, but you still get to see Baid finally in the flesh.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Baid. Can't wait for that. It's always a good day's racing. So, yeah, and look after Mark.
Oh, yes, we will. Don't worry, Gaffer. We absolutely will. Mark Orosky deputising next week. James Millman, Kate Tracy joining myself, Dave Orton. Same place, same time. It's Champions Day. Who found it out there? Run for Oscar. Run to the bookies and collect.
Oh, what a sign off that.
Oh.